back and enjoy the action. It's Partick Thistle against Ross County, the first leg of the Premiership playoff final with Jim Duffy, Stuart Kettlewell and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, one of the most important games, or two games that it is, in the Scottish football calendar these days. Since the playoffs were reintroduced in 2014, the 11th placed Premiership teams prevailed in 5 of the 8 times it's been contested since then. Hamilton, Livingston and Dundee have all been promoted via the playoff final, with the top flight sides saving their own skins in the other 5. The 2 sets of players making their way out of the tunnel area over on the far side, just to the left as we watch from the back of the Jackie Husband stand, which is the same side of the stadium as the TV cameras are housed at, if you're used to watching matches here at Firhill. Pretty decent night, it would have to be said. Benign conditions, it's pretty warm, it's quite overcast. You look over to the left, you see Park Circus and the tower of the Glasgow Science Centre. At the open end of the stadium, off to the right, the John Lambie stand. Packed to the rafters are the home sections, and I think about 400 or 500 Ross County fans have made another long journey back down to the Central Belt, having been in Kilmarnock on Sunday. A very disappointing performance when a win would have kept them up in the top flight. They've now got to fight for their lives against the informed Jags, who are just 1 defeat in 17 since Chris Doolan replaced Ian McCall. They are unbeaten in 10, and to put that in context, the Partick Thistle club record for unbeaten matches is 16, so they are in fine fettle, it's fair to say. The hosts line up for the 4th match in succession, with David Mitchell in goal. At back 4 of McMillan, Muirhead, Brownlee and Holt. Turner and Docherty sitting, Lawless, Tiffany, Fitzpatrick and Brian Graham, their top scorer, with 20 goals under his belt this season. 3 changes for the Staggies: Smith, Tilson and Edwards in for Jakovitic, Chanchola and Kenna. It is Laidlaw in goal. Looks like a back 4 tonight. We'll wait and see with Connor Randall in the side. May well be that Randall and Harmon will still be the wing backs, with Watson, Baldwin and Smith as the back 3. We'll keep an eye on that. Tilson in the side. Awura Edwards, you would think, would play wide, so Danda will go in beside Tilson, with Alex Samuel supporting Jordan White up front. The referee this evening's David Monroe, the VAR's Andrew Dallas, and for the first time for a domestic Scottish football match, the VAR, the video assistant, is on site in a van just outside Firhill. They're normally in their secret location elsewhere. Before the match, I touched on this earlier, there will be a minute's applause for the Partick Thistle legend Hugh Strachan, who is part of that wonderful side that shocked that brilliant Celtic team in the 1971 Scottish League Cup final. He was a rock at the heart of defence for the Jags at Hampden Park that day. I think it was on Grandstand on the day of that League Cup final, where the reporter or presenter said, in Scotland it's League Cup final day at Hampden Park, where Celtic meet Partick Thistle, who have no chance. 4-1 the Jags won that day, and sadly they've lost one of the heroes. And a nice moment there in tribute to Hugh Strachan. The names of Rough Hansen, Forsyth, Clavin, Campbell, McQuaid, Coulston, Bowen, Ray and Laurie, and Sub Gibson will live long in the memory, and our thoughts with Hugh Strachan's family and friends. Game on! Premiership playoff final, first leg, county kick-off, going from right to left towards the open end of Firhill in this first half, all in their change colours of white with the navy flashes. Partick Thistle in their famous red and yellow hoop striped shirts with the white shorts, and the red socks with the black tops. And they will shoot towards the John Lambie stand. County then with the ball up the pitch here in the opening seconds of the game, looking to make an immediate impression, and already there's a long throw opportunity for Jack Baldwin. He'd loads of these on Sunday at Rugby Park without County really taking advantage of them. They want to make an extremely bright start here against the informed Thistle. In comes the throw-in, which is headed away. Up into the air from Danda, bouncing around awkwardly, just still in the final third. Thistle able to prod it clear as it's moved back by Awura Edwards into his own half for Randall. It's an awkward ball to control. He's able to knock it forward towards Danda. An important header one in the midfield for Thistle. Tiffany battling for it as it breaks just inside the centre circle for the visitors, who've seen a lot of the ball in these opening stages of the game, and they have it just to the edge of the centre circle where it's collected by Danda. He's moving up towards the edge of the penalty area, wide on the right hand side. Awura Edwards, he's got three waiting in the middle. Danda then crosses in, the flick from Samuel. It's bobbling around, bouncing around the area, and eventually I think the handball from one of the attacking players results in a free kick to Partick Thistle. Goalless in the very early stages of the game. Jim Duffy.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind start from Ross County, isn't it, Stuart? I mean, they've absolutely come out the blocks. They've pinged the ball into the corner straight away, get a long throw. Stuart said they're going to be using that to their advantage, and you know, then in real high press into the Thistle midfield and nicking it, and eventually the ball hitting Alex Samuel's hand and giving Thistle a bit of respite in the first couple of minutes.
How to play for a throw-in over on the far side, but Malky Mackay will be content with the start here, Stuart, given what Thistle have been doing to opponents recently.
Yeah, I think being the side that's at the bottom end of the Premiership, Liam, you're looking for a chink in the armour right away, and Partick Thistle haven't seen that from Ross County. As I say, Jack Baldwin will go all over the park, try and gain some yards with these long throws, but the initial part for me, I mentioned him, Danda picking up loose balls and being really clever with his use of the ball, and that's had an impact in the opening couple of minutes.
Long ball forward for the Jags with Stevie Lawless looking for Tiffany. It's headed clear, kept in play by Laturi, and then Baldwin launches it forward towards White, who's sporting the head bandage from the knock he sustained at Rugby Park at the weekend. A long ball forward by Brownlee for Thistle, but it's collected wide on the right hand side by Awura Edwards. He has started out on that right flank as he attacks the Thistle defence, taking on Holt, moves it back to Danda, who shoots, blocked, and then they're able to get it clear as it bounced favourably there for the skipper Ross Docherty, and it was out for a throw-in on the far side to the visitors. 0-0 the very early stages.
We sort of debated how Ross County would set up, and they do this quite often, Liam. They change from a back three to a back four continuously. At times you think that Randall's playing as a right-sided centre back, and then just all of a sudden they'll filter over into that right full-back position, so that'll keep Thistle guessing. They set up, Jim, didn't they, in the warm-up? It looked like it was going to be a back four.
Straight forward, yeah.
Yeah, but you can see it changes with Harmon going high on the left, so that'll pose Partick Thistle one or two issues just to get themselves set in their formation.
Long ball forward then by the Thistle goalkeeper David Mitchell into the midfield, diving header away by the county team captain, and Jack Baldwin, Keith Watson, the club captain, on the bench this evening. Victor Laturi in the midfield for County as it goes out of play for a Thistle throw. They're up the pitch this time, collected wide on the left by Kevin Holt. He rolls it in towards the left of the centre circle for Turner. He's been very important for the Jags this season. It's worked by McMillan out wide right for Lawless. First real feel of the final third here for the Jags. Great play by Lawless, skipping along the 18-yard line, shoots and draws the save from Laidlaw with the first shot on target of this Premiership playoff final, and the goalkeeper puts it behind for the corner.
Yeah, terrific play by Partick Thistle, getting out to Stephen Lawless. Always want to cut back into his left foot. You know, I'm a bit surprised that Ross County allowed him to do that. I actually thought he could have taken the shot earlier and bent it to the far post. He just went for the power, and you know, a save by Laidlaw, first corner for Partick Thistle.
First chance for the Jags as well. Short corner by Lawless, whose effort it was, and then Docherty's looping ball might still work. The goalkeeper has to tip it over as it looped down towards, creeping underneath his crossbar there. But when Docherty, as soon as he hit that, he looked up at the sky and thought, what on earth have I done there? Well, he very nearly scored.
Yeah, a wee bit fortunate as well for Ross County. There was a bit of a push. I'm not suggesting it was a penalty, but Baldwin has a little bit of push in Brownlee, I think it was.
Here comes the corner, Laidlaw as well. He gathers in the 6-yard line just as that was creeping towards the back post area, and he launches it quickly forward with the right foot out towards that far side. But it's one in the air by Brownlee. It's now in county possession with Awura Edwards just knocking it back onto halfway for Danda. Jim Duffy.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit interesting when you get set plays, particularly defensively. Partick Thistle, we're having the VAR. They're not used to that, throughout the season. Obviously, Ross County are, Liam. So therefore, if you're having a little tug of someone and a little,
there's a chance. Yeah, Samuel. Yeah. He's knocked it from the right into the box. Edwards on the turn. There's only a half cleared, and then the effort there, just from the edge of the box, was kind of scuffed by Tilson, and Thistle had bodies in the way. And they've eventually got it clear. Doherty's headed out to this near side. Harmon gets a touch onto it, but it's picked up by the Jags with Jordan McMillan. He's had a magnificent playoff campaign. He's had a good season as well, all told, but really has been so important. He's been up and down the flank. He's been such an attacking threat as well as doing his job defensively in these games. 6 minutes in, 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Thistle, they're playing their normal formation, if you want to call it that, but certainly Ross County is a lot more flexible. I'm looking up here. I'd struggle if I was, putting a match report in, Stuart, to say exactly what shape Ross County are playing just now.
And the chance that Partick Thistle get, Jim, it comes of that kind of changing the point of attack, goes out to the fullback, goes to Lawless, but what it does is with young Smith, who's playing kind of left-sided centre-back, it drags him into a fullback area, and I'd imagine that Partick Thistle will want to see that situation. Young lad's been terrific since he came in, but he's not a left back, and getting dragged into those isolated positions 1v1 I think would pose a problem for them.
Yeah, I think it's because they give Jan Danda that freedom, Liam, to just go and get on the ball, so everyone else almost has to adapt to that a little bit and adjust positionally.
It's been in good goal scoring form. Danda, he's taking a free kick level with the edge of the centre circle, launches it into the box, and it just goes ahead of Dylan Smith and couldn't get his head onto it, and it goes behind for the goal kick to Partick Thistle. But County seeing plenty of the ball, but it's Thistle with the two opportunities. They're the ones who've tested the goalkeeper, and Ross Laidlaw's had to make two important saves. 7.5 goalless minutes, and it's interesting you talk about the setup for County tonight, because the initial team we were given a couple of hours ago was that Keith Watson was in the side, and it was 3 changes. It's actually on kick-off, it's 4 alterations from the Kilmarnock game at the weekend. Victor Laturi coming into the team as well, as McMillan comes down this right-hand side. His ball towards Lawless is cut out by Smith, and he breaks to Kyle Turner down this right-hand side. He finds McMillan on the touchline, infield to Lawless, midway inside County territory. Switch of play out to that left-hand side. Wonderful skill, and now there's an opportunity for Thistle. Goal! That is absolutely magnificent from Partick Thistle. They worked it forward out to the right-hand side. It was shifted out to the left, and Aidan Fitzpatrick skipped into the penalty area and fires it into the reverse right-hand corner of the net to give the championship side the first goal of this playoff final. It is Partick Thistle 1, Ross County 0.
What a magnificent goal from Partick Thistle. The build-up play initially from Turner, plays it inside the Lawless, a switch of play out to Fitzpatrick. The first thing he had in his mind is, I'm going to take on the fullback, goes inside him again. I think Fitzpatrick gives defenders a problem because he can go outside and go inside, comes out on his, I think, his more natural right foot and bends it into the far corner, giving Laidlaw no chance. I mean, although Ross County have started well, Partick Thistle had the chances, and that was a clinical finish, and just kind of keeping that momentum going from the other playoff games. An absolute outstanding goal from Partick Thistle.
It was an amazing finish, it really was, but the bit of skill for me, Jim, to weave between Randall and I think it was Edwards, was just incredible, wasn't it? A wee shift one way, back across, both players inside them, and it's just an unbelievable finish, and that's what he gives you. You're right, I think he keeps the full-back guessing because he can go inside and out, but what a magical piece of play, and befitting of the occasion, it really is.
6th goal of the season for Aidan Fitzpatrick. It might be his most important one so far. It's the Jags fans celebrating here in northwest Glasgow. Free kick County meantime, level with the Thistle penalty spot, just a yard or two away from this near side touchline, and a chance for an immediate riposte here. Thistle drawing first blood early in the tie. In it comes from Danda, punched away by the goalkeeper, and it pops up to this near side. He's got the bonus because it's dropped onto the goal scorer Fitzpatrick, though he can't keep it in play. Quick throw in taken by Danda, Samuel onto it, and he wins the corner, and an opportunity here for Ross County to keep the pressure on as they look for a quick fire equaliser, because the Premiership side are behind here. Short corner to Danda, And he shuffles onto his right-hand side, level with the penalty spot. Looking to shrug off Lawless. It's a very good ball in, which is headed away on the 6-yard line. And it was Brownlee got his head to it. Thistle win it back. And then there's an appeal for a free kick, which has been given by David Munro, as Baldwin launches it forward into the net as well. Long after the whistle had gone, he's doing well to get away without being cautioned for that. It will be a free kick to Thistle. It is 1-0 to Thistle, 11 minutes in, and the good times just keep on rolling for Chris Doolan.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's just a continuation of the form that have been shown, particularly over the last 6-7 weeks. We talk about the playoff games going 16 goals, but they score 32 goals in 10 games, I think you were saying, Liam. I mean, unbelievable. And again, just get so much firepower. We're all talking about Graham and Scott Tiffany, and there's Fitzpatrick turns up with an absolute outstanding goal.
They've scored almost as many in the last 10 and 11 games as County did in the entirety of the Premiership season. And that's going to be a corner to Thistle as they worked it down the right this time. And it's a challenge from Harmon, which has resulted in this set-piece opportunity for Thistle. They were looking for a second. That goal from Fitzpatrick was their 17th in this playoff system. And the first team to win 4 successive matches in the playoffs. In it comes from Turner. It's another useful delivery. Baldwin gets the merest of flicks onto it, and then Laturi helps it away, and out it goes for a throw-in off a Jags player for County. About level with the edge of the centre circle. This is the start that Malky Mackay would have dreaded. 12 minutes in, Partick Thistle 1, Ross County 0.
Yeah, I don't. From a Ross County perspective, yeah, they find themselves behind. I think you heard Malky talking before the game. It's about keeping that level head. He'll need that from his players. It's not a time to panic. There's an awful long way to go in the tie, but I think it's really important that they try and get a hold of Thistle's key players who have been pretty effective so far in the opening stages of the game. The Lawlesses, the Fitzpatricks, guys like Tiffany, and I think Ross County need to do a little bit more to try and alleviate them from having an impact on the game.
Edwards back to Danda. County attacking here. They're in the final third. It's switched out to Harmon on this near side. He rolls it back to the 16-year-old Dylan Smith. Dinks it forward with the right foot. White's not going to get there though. And it goes out of play for a throw-in on this near side for Partick Thistle, about level with their own 6-yard line. It is 1-0 to the Jags here in Maryhill. 13 minutes played.
Yeah, I mean, young Dylan Smith there, he's trying to be positive, but that's maybe that wee bit of naivety when there was nothing on. He tried to force something on, try to manufacture. Better getting back to Baldwin at the back there and just keep possession, but just rushed it a little bit there.
Jordan White there for Ross County, who's involved in the playoffs with Cali Thistle a few years ago now. Scored a few goals against Ayr United in the quarter-finals that year as Dylan Smith picks up, dinks the cross in, but it comes all the way through. It's an easy one for Mitchell to hold on to as he blasts it forward from the edge of his own box with the right foot, looking to try and get Tiffany involved. Laturi gets it half away. Now Thistle pick up again with Fitzpatrick. Now with Docherty, out to Holt, down the line Tiffany. They're playing with such confidence. They might be in again here. Fitzpatrick's gone down, approaching the penalty area. The referee goes to his pocket, and it's a yellow card for Smith. The Thistle fans wanted a different shade of card there for the Ross County defender. 14 minutes in, and there's an argument to say that that was preventing an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. VAR, Andrew Dallas, will be having a long look at that right now, I would have thought.
Yeah, Liam, my gut feeling is that Fitzpatrick gets the touch, he's going to find himself bearing down on top of Ross Laidlaw in the Ross County goal. I know we'll check this, I know we're going to have a look at it, but my gut feeling is that unfortunately that would be a red card for the young lad.
Brian's had a chance to see a replay. We don't have monitors here, Brian.
Yeah, I've had a couple of looks at it, Liam, and yeah, I think Dylan Smith sadly maybe seeing red very, very shortly. There was no one between Aidan Fitzpatrick and the goalkeeper, and he was clean through in goal. An obvious goal scoring opportunity, and I'm pretty sure that Andrew Dallas in the VAR truck, not too far away from where you're sitting at the moment, this may be a red card coming very shortly.
Well, this would be such a monumental double blow for Ross County, who are already behind. Stuart's right to mention that there's a long way to go in this tie, but if Thistle win this game 3-4 tonight, then it could potentially be tie over. And if County go down to 10 when they're already struggling against this vibrant Thistle side, and there's the confirmation of the official VAR check underway, this could well be a yellow upgraded to red for Dylan Smith. And County are swimming in shark-infested waters here, Stuart.
Yeah, they are. Do you know what? It's an honest attempt.
He's coming over to look at it. It's David Munro.
Liam, it's an honest attempt to win the ball from the young lad, but for me, I don't think there could be too much hesitation from my first view on that.
Yeah, he's a bit unlucky. He just slightly mistimed it. He had a couple of wee moments just before it when he just got caught up in the play a little bit rushed. He should have been just a yard or two inside his teammate there just to cover the space, and as I said, he just literally mistimed it. But if he's the player gets a touch in front of him, and if it's a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity, then there's no other option for David Munro but to give him a red card. I think that yellow card will be overturned, Liam.
Yeah, he's down there right in front of us, actually in front of the Jackie husband. He's made his mind up, having watched a few replays. Back he comes onto the pitch, David Munro. David Munro's on. The yellow's going to be upgraded to red, and Ross County, who are already trailing here in northwest Glasgow, have been reduced to 10 men. Dylan Smith sent off. 16th minute of the game. The 16-year-old walks. County are down to 10 men, and they're going to have to try and somehow negotiate around about 73 minutes of this first leg. A man down against this free-scoring Partick Thistle side. County are in big trouble.
I really feel sorry for the lad. I think it's the correct decision, but we always think about young players, Jim, don't we? It's a massive occasion for the young lad. I don't think he's done a great deal wrong. It's an honest attempt to win the ball.
Alex Samuel's going to be hooked, I think, Brian.
Yes, he is. He's already on his way back across, and he's going to be replaced by Keith Watson. I had another look at it, Liam, and once again the youngster was very very unfortunate. It was actually his left leg that caught him. The leg he actually swung it to try and clear the ball. He missed the ball completely, missed the player, but it was his standing leg that caught Fitzpatrick, and there was no doubt at all, if it was a foul at all, sadly for the youngster, it was going to be a red card.
And amidst all of that, Partick Thistle have got a free kick on the edge of the county box, just to the left of the D, and they've got players more than capable of dispatching it from here. Important moment in the tie, let alone the game. Here it comes. It's over the crossbar though from Docherty. So he looked for the top left corner. It will be a goal kick, and suddenly, with Partick Thistle leading 1-0, that is looking like a magnificent result and outcome for Ross County, should they get to 90 minutes just one behind.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a monumental effort against this free scoring Partick Thistle side to keep it at 1-0. I mean, obviously straight away Ross Laidlaw just taking his time, just trying to give his players time to clear their heads. They look as if they went back to a 3 at the back with bringing Watson on. They'll just try and make sure that, I think Jan Dan will probably just play off Jordan White a little bit and just try and condense the game a little bit. But it's going to be a back to the wall 70 odd minutes, Liam, for Ross County here, and Partick Thistle have got all the momentum and all the incentive they ever needed to try and put this tie to bed.
There were points in the final night of the championship where Partick Thistle weren't even in the playoffs. Here they are, and now in a wonderful position for promotion when you consider all the angst that this club went through 3 years ago when they were relegated against their will, against everything that they'd fought for that season, still with plenty time to save themselves. They were relegated to the 3rd tier of Scottish football. Remember, Hearts and Stranraer suffered similar fates from the Premiership and League One. Thistle were only, I think, were they a point behind with about 6 or 7 games to play. They really were. They had a game in hand as well. It was Queen of the South, they were the beneficiaries. And here they are 3 years on, fighting for a place at the top table. 1-0 up in the first leg, and County are down to 10. Here's Tiffany for the Jags, rolls it out wide left, chance to cross perhaps for Fitzpatrick, skips away, loops the ball in. It's just a bit too high for Brian Graham, but that's going to be another corner to Partick Thistle. This place is absolutely buzzing. Almost 20 in, Thistle 1, County 0.
Yeah, great little bit of skill again for Fitzpatrick. Little step over. We mentioned earlier on, scored his right foot. That time he goes to the byline with his left foot, stands across up in the back post, and Brian Graham only inches away.
In from Turner. It's an easy one for Laidlaw on the 6-yard line. A couple of Thistle players, most notably Brian Graham, were not happy with the delivery there. And it stays 1-0 to the home team. Stuart Kettlewell.
That's not like big Brian Graham to have a moan when he doesn't get service in there, but he really does drive standards. It makes me laugh. You look at his body language, he doesn't let anybody slack off. He wants deliveries into the box, he'll smell blood, and he'll think that there'll be an opportunity for Partick Thistle to try and take more advantage with the 11v10 that they have here.
It's probably the first time there's been real pressure on Partick Thistle, really, if you think about it. You know, I mean, they've been going so well, they haven't really had to think about it. Now the expectation has changed, Liam. The dynamics of the game have changed. Everybody would then think Partick Thistle go and win this game comfortably, and it's how their fans as well, with this fantastic crowd, will be expecting that. It's how they deal with that expectation now.
Well, they're certainly making the most of their playoff journey after squeezing into 4th place and goal difference ahead of Morton. As Danda prepares to take a free kick. It was a 2-2 draw at Wraith Rovers in the final night. That point took them into the playoffs. Short free kick, Danda to Tilson. Back to Danda, wide in the right, to the right of the box for Laturi. It's been shepherded behind here. It might well be a free kick. No, referee says it's okay as it's won back by Laturi. It's now with Owura Edwards, right hand side of the box. Level with the penalty spot's being forced back the way. He's level with the edge of the D of the box now. On that far side, he gets the break of the ball. In comes the cross. An important header away there by Brownlee, and then up into the air it goes. If it was Holt who got in the way, and the long ball will go harmlessly behind for the goal kick to the home team. It is Partick Thistle leading by 1-0. Aidan Fitzpatrick's 6th of the season. We played 22, just about a quarter of the first leg's come and gone, and it is advantage to the championship team.
Yeah, I think it's really important that Partick Thistle keep the momentum here, isn't it? I think they really have to keep the tempo and the intensity that they're playing at. I think if they let Ross County kind of settle in and find their shape and keep a discipline about them, they'll kick themselves. So I think they really have to stretch the pitch, get their fullbacks involved, because Ross County, you can see, Jim, can't you, that they play very much man for man at times, and even more so now that they're down to 10 men.
Wallace, brilliant ball now. McMillan inside the box, right hand side level with the 6-yard line, crossed into deflection, and County trying to scramble it clear with all their might, and Laturi heads it away in his 18-yard line. He's brought down by Kevin Holt, and that will be a free kick to County at the edge of their own box. Wonderful little interchange down this right hand side between Stevie Lawless and Jack McMillan. It was magnificent play.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those ones where, you know, the full-back is drawn to the ball, leaves the space on the inside. It's a perfectly weighted pass from Stephen Lawless. I think that, you know, maybe Jack McMillan could have played it a wee bit earlier, just played it into the space. As soon as he takes a touch, that allowed the white jerseys of Ross County just to get kind of regroup a little bit and just squeeze that space and manage to clear the danger.
Here come County. Owura Edwards level with the edge of the D of the Thistle box, and it comes a really good delivery, which is put behind for the corner by McMillan. Fabulous ball in from the right. He fizzed it right across the face of goal.
It's a wonderful delivery for the right hand side of Owura Edwards, but excellent defending from Jack McMillan. Yeah, he's just been up the other end of the park, but he's managed to tuck himself in, get goal side and usher it out of play. But these are the opportunities that Ross County need to look towards, getting the big guys forward, take their time over it, set up the corner delivery and try and pose Partick Thistle one or two problems.
Jan Danda over the corner, 23.5 on the clock. In swinger with the right boot coming up, and it comes. It's again a good delivery. It's headed half away, picked up by Laturi at the edge of the box, looking to sweep it back out to the left for Danda. The County number 10 controls with the right foot. Now he's trying to take on his man, and a really important challenge by Docherty. It's wonderful from the Thistle skipper, and it's picked up by Harmon. Turns, crosses in with the left foot. Too much on it though. Owura Edwards trying to keep it in play over on the far side. He's succeeded in doing that, looking now for some support, and he's lost out. And of course County, the commit numbers forward, given they're down to 10 men, could find themselves caught at the back now and again. The way this is going, the way Thistle are attacking, you would imagine that will be a huge risk for them between now and full time in this first leg. 24.5, Thistle 1, County 0. And I suppose in many ways for Malky Mackay now, it's just trying to get a result that they can take back up the road with a realistic chance of coming through this tie on Sunday.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly the message. I think that's how he'll be looking at it. I don't think they'll be going gung-ho to try and commit too many bodies forward, Liam. For them it's purely be in a game in the second leg, but we all know that Thistle have had these 20-30 minute periods.
Here's Tiffany, brilliant play from Thistle again. Little dink ball to Tiffany. He tried to knock it into his path with the head, too much on it though. Difficult one for him to take the two defenders around, and he goes behind for the goal kick to the visitors.
It's one of those ones for the defender as well, because he's ready to go and try and clear it, and then Tiffany just puts his head down, he managed to draw out of it, so you're not giving away a penalty in that situation. But again, just shows you the threat and the pace. Scott Tiffany run in behind Brian Graham drawing the players to the ball. Scott Tiffany looking to use his electric pace to get in behind.
I'm talking about the coronavirus-induced relegation Thistle went through 3 years ago, but really they've still had a bit of a hangover from their relegation in the playoffs at the hands of Livingston back in 2018. Of course, Livy have been a top-flight side since then. Thistle plummeted. It's a long ball forward for Harmon. Lovely take by Harmon in the box, and then he tries to shoot for the near post. Might have been better going for the far post there, and his efforts blocked and Thistle clear. It really opened up beautifully for George Harmon. He did it all himself, and it stays 1-0 to the Jags.
It's a little bit self-inflicted. Just ball goes back to the goalkeeper Mitchell, and he elects to kick the ball forward. They've got a 3v1 at the back, and I think Thistle are a far better team when they go and pass it out from the back. And I think it was the left-sided centre back. I think it was Brownlee that was available for the pass, and it goes right down the barrel of Ross County centre backs, and that's what they want, Jim. That's it. They want the long ball so that they can go and win them, dominate them, and try and see if they can counter off it.
Offside flag was up against Awura Edwards over on the far side. Well, I suppose in Malky Mackay's mind, Jim, he'll be quite happy they've kind of rode out the little storm that came in the wake of the red card when they could easily have conceded a second goal. Yeah,
I mean, they had that one chance where Lawless played the ball inside for Jack McMillan to go and get that ball flashed across the 6-yard line. But other than that, Ross Laidlaw hasn't really been tested. So you're trying to keep it compact. He's obviously went just for the 4-4-1. And they've had one or two little moments on the counter-attack, but again, a wee bit surprised David Mitchell, having that long ball. We know Brian Graham's a threat, and but they've got, as Stuart said, they've got a 4v1. Jordan White's the only player up there. Full-backs can split, centre-backs can split, get on the ball, and I think just get Ross County moving a little bit.
Well, they are moving just now with Awura Edwards down the right-hand side. It's got support from Laturi out in the touchline. And it's Victor Laturi taking it for a walk infield. Slightly right of centre, turns it back out to the right touchline for Randall, and now it's Laturi to Edwards. Laturi again. It's good football this by County. They're keeping some possession here, perhaps the best they've had all game. The ball is killed in the chest by Harmon to the left of the D, but under too much pressure from McMillan, who gets it away, and Lawless completes the clearance. Long ball down for Tiffany, and Tiffany gets it into stride, driving down the right flank here up against Watson. It's an early ball in, and Randall's there ahead of Brian Graham, who was looking to hunt down goal number 21 of the season for him. This will come again with Lawless, getting it back from Turner. Lawless, little ball, McMillan's found himself in space, low across, cut out by Randall, and then the clearance completed by Tilson. Again, County again absolutely done in the wide areas so far tonight, as Ross Docherty spreads it out wide to the left for Graham, the left angle of the box, forced back the way, and he finds Holt, who rolls it into the centre circle for Brownlee. Played out to this right hand side for Lawless. Lawless has had a good start to the game, good start to the tie, taking on Harmon, skips back onto the left foot to the edge of the area, low ball for Turner, back out wide right for Lawless. Can he get the cross right? And it comes, and Laidlaw holds on as the header from Holt headed towards the top left corner, and it stays Partick Thistle 1, Ross County 0 as we approach the 29th minute.
I mean, listen, you can applaud Malky, for having taken the risk. We haven't keeping flair players, if you want to call it that, Edwards and Yandanda on the pitch. He took off Alex Samuel, a striker, but both of those players we're up in the stand here. We're looking at this side of the pitch with Lawless and McMillan marauding down this right hand side, and both of those players are way over the other side, not coming across, not condensing, because they're footballers. They want to go on the ball, they're not defensive minded. Even looking now from where we are, you're thinking they've got to defend a little bit better, they've got to narrow the game.
Stephanie, brilliant run from him down the near side. He'll settle for the corner. That's goal kick's been given, it's come off his toe from behind. His good play again, he's in behind Keith Watson. Watson, the sub, is having a difficult time since he's come on.
Yeah, it's a domino effect. The lad Harmon is kind of playing as that left back, almost left wing back, and he's got the full side to defend and play in. And what Partick Thistle are doing really well is with McMillan and Lawless, they're creating that overload which draws Watson out, as you've said there, Liam, and it also brings Jordan Tilson across from the centre of midfield. So they're kind of getting there, but at that point Partick Thistle have an overload and they're able to just play their way through, and I think they have to try and rectify that by going a little bit more more solid on this left-hand side defensively.
Stuart Kettlewell, the Motherwell manager, of course, was co-manager with Stephen Ferguson when County came back up to the top flight. Quick-fire return it was. They spent 11 out of the last 12 seasons in the top flight of Scottish football. It's under serious duress here. Thistle leading 1-0. And that ball down the right almost found McMillan again from Turner. Picked up by Watson, given away, well read by Docherty. He's now got it, he's facing the County box, rolls it to the right. It's Brian Graham, takes a touch and then shoots, and the sliding Watson puts it behind for the corner. That was ominous for Ross County just for a moment there as Brian Graham pulled the trigger. This effort blocked by Watson, but it's another Thistle corner, and the home team continued to lead this one by a 1-0 on 31.
Yeah, Watson gave away in the first place, but he managed to recover his position. I thought Brian Graham was going to chop onto there as the player dived in, but good block from Watson.
Lawless, short corner for Tiffany, wins another corner off Harmon. The pressure relentless right now on the Ross County rear guard. Lawless over this corner again. In swinger with the left foot coming up down in this near side of Thistle right, and it comes, doesn't beat the near post this time. Tilson with a header, but out it goes for a Jag's throw, which Lawless thought about taking quickly there, and he does eventually release it himself to Kyle Turner. It's now back with Lawless dancing around on the near side. Tilson's challenge prevents Lawless making a bit more of it than he would have been able to otherwise, and then there's a trip just outside the box on Tiffany, or by Tiffany, and that is a County free kick. And again, I suppose any kind of stoppage for Ross County will do for them right now. 32 played. Thistle leading 1-0.
Yeah, exactly what Jan Dander was looking for there. You know, just a little toe poke, and then just waiting on the challenge come, giving his team a bit of a breather. That's when he is a really clever footballer, Liam. You know, he's a terrific footballer. He's got real awareness and, you know, ability. But as I said, when you're back to the wall for a lot of it, you're needing to add that work ethic as well.
Try of handball against the Wood Edwards, and belatedly David Monroe agrees. That will be a free kick to Partick Thistle.
I'll tell you something, just watching them here in the opening, I don't know what we are now, 34 minutes or whatever we're in.
32 and a half.
32 and a half. Steve Lawless has been absolutely sensational, hasn't he? He's probably coming towards the twilight of his career, but I think he's playing as well as he ever has done. You know, having played against him, how clever he is, how influential he can be. I think he's been terrific throughout these playoff matches especially.
Yeah, back at Partick Thistle for a second spell, Stevie Lawless. As Turner picks up for the host and rolls it back to Aaron Muirhead, who pings it away out to that left. What a great switch of play it was to Fitzpatrick. He's got an overlap from Holt now. Instead he plays it in to the central area for Docherty. Unchallenged at the moment, squares it to his partner in crime, Turner. Forward into the box for Tiffany. His attempted ball across is cut out by Watson, and Partick Thistle have their latest in their succession of corner kicks here. Thistle 1, County 0, and it's the home team. They're cranking up the pressure in their search for a second goal.
Yeah, they find a little pockets in those kind of inside right, inside left positions, you know, and again Ross County just a fraction late getting over.
Turner takes the corners, a header at goal, and Laidlaw holds on as he threw himself to his right to make the save. Looked as though it had just got away from him at the last second there, and he's got it in his gloves, and it stays Partick Thistle 1, Ross County 0.
It's straight off the training field again. Was it the game against Queen's Park where Brian Graham scored that corner from the right hand side, sort of driven towards the penalty spot, and he stepped on and volleyed it, didn't he? And it's almost the same sort of thing. I think he caught Baldwin in the head. Baldwin was stooping down to try and defend it, but as I say, clever work. You can see that they've obviously utilised that in the training ground, and it's almost come to fruition yet again.
Sports Sound here in BBC Radio Scotland, on digital, on extra 810 medium wave, online bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. The first leg of the Premiership playoff final, Partick Thistle leading Ross County by 1-0. Here come the Staggies though, with Jan Danda dancing forward, driving forward, into the box he goes, left hand side of it, wins his team the corner. Fabulous work by Jan Danda, who is tireless.
Yeah, he's a terrific footballer, that's what I'm saying. You know, when Ross County have the ball, he's the guy that gives you that breathing space, you know, by taking the ball up to the opposition, getting you high up the pitch, and allowing your teammates to just have that little bit of a breather.
He's going to take the corner himself here. Danda right-footed, it's headed half away, back towards the Thistle goal for the bit of pinball there. Eventually Thistle have enough bodies in the way, but that looked like it was heading towards the back of the net there at one point, because David Mitchell didn't look at all comfortable, looked a little bit nervy as that ricocheted back towards him. Thistle get away with it though. You feel potentially set plays are County's best chance.
Yeah, I think they are, Liam, especially with the deliveries that Danda can produce on that right foot. It's a wand, and also having the likes of...
Yeah, here he goes again to the back post. Watson hits it down, breaks back to Awura Edwards, wouldn't settle for him, still has it though, to the right hand side of the box as this cross goes the wrong side of the goal frame and behind for the goal kick. Well, there is something for Ross County to cling on to. Just a couple of opportunities in the last minute of this game, but it stays Partick Thistle 1, County 0 with 9 minutes to go until half time.
I think it was just one of those awkward ones, shoot. It just came up a bit hip height. You couldn't head it, you couldn't knee it or adjust to it. It just kind of bounced around and just bobbled about in the penalty box. And just one little lapse of concentration from Partick Thistle could give Ross County a lifeline.
Ball's played down the right hand side here for Tiffany, who controls under pressure from two County defenders, and eventually it goes out of play for a throw into the visitors on this near side. And Keith Watson will leave it for Jack Baldwin, who was certainly confident when he spoke to the media a couple of days ago in the build up to this. But a fair bit of travelling to do, Ross County, just in the last few days, having been down in Kilmarnock on Sunday, back up to Dingwall and then back down to Glasgow. And just want to be in the tie at this point, but Awura Edwards has lost out to the goal scorer Fitzpatrick over on the far side, keeping it in play and rolling it back to Docherty. Shifts it into the centre circle for Turner, who rolls it back to Brownlee, who finds Muirhead. Thistle 1, County 0. 37 on the clock in this first leg. Docherty over there, rolls it down the line for Holt, midway inside County territory, down the line for Fitzpatrick, just evades him. It's come off Randall by the looks of things, and out for a Thistle throw. Now this is about level with the Ross County 18-yard line over on that main Colin Weir stand side. Not much of a run up for a long throw, to be fair. Kevin Holt bowls it short to Tiffany, who just loses out. Combination of Laturi and Edwards, but then the clearance and Watson's charge down. Thistle have it back with McMillan, rolls it to the right hand side of the box here for Brian Graham, looks up, left foot clip ball into the area, and a really important intervention by Victor Laturi to get it away. Here comes Danda, County looking to hit the counter here. He's got Awura Edwards to his right, passes it to him. Edwards does well, good skill, shuffles it back in field for Danda, who then loses out, just lost sight of it. And Thistle have it back with Turner, who rolls it to McMillan, who's popped up in a central area to Lawless, and back out to Jack McMillan on this near side. 38.5 on the clock, with Partick Thistle leading by 1-0.
I mean, Ross County will be desperate to get in and remain at the scoreline 1-0. You know, I mean, they've worked ever so hard. Ross Laidlaw, they've had a couple of moments across the goal, but not had too much to do. Their organisation has been terrific, but Malky want to get them in, you know, just recharge the batteries, just calm them down a little bit and see if they can manage to continue this in the second half.
The important thing for County is that the damage doesn't get any worse before half time.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's Lawless, central area, midway inside County half, pings it to Graham at the edge of the box. He shoots over the bar, he's unlucky. The poacher supreme, shooting from about 19 yards, left hand side of the D with the right foot, where he skies it into the John Lambie stand, and it stays Partick Thistle 1, Ross County 0 on 39.
He's so intelligent, Brian Graham. He always works away from the ball. He doesn't come down and come towards it and condense the space. He does it yet again there, shifting on his right foot, trying to back up Conor Randall, and you normally fancy him at least to work the target, but again, the intelligence he's play. I'm looking at Jordan Tilson for Ross County. He's going man for man with Turner, because Turner's the guy that generates the tempo for Thistle. He keeps the ball ticking over, and I can see that wee tactical change just now. He's trying to get in his face and try and stop him from playing.
Brian Graham, 20 for the season. He actually scored his 50th Thistle goal in the 4-0 win over Queen's Park in the quarter-final second leg, joining Chris Erskine and his boss Chris Doolan in hitting the 50 mark for the Jags this century. Of course, Chris Doolan over 100 for the club at the end up. The man in charge One defeat in 17 coming into this playoff final. Jordan White is barking away at a couple of his teammates over there. Ross County had a difficult first half here. We're into the final 5 minutes of it. There'll be because of the VAR and the sub and all that kind of stuff, there will be a good couple of minutes added on at the end as this will pick up a free kick there, and it's going to be another card. It's yellow. Tilson gets it. He's committed the foul on Brian Graham over on the far side. It's another chance for Thistle to swing the ball into the box as County pick up the yellow.
Yeah, I'm never quite sure when referees book players for that. I mean, listen, the ball bounces up about shin height. One player, both players go for it, and one player gets it a fraction. It's literally brushes Brian Graham, but referees always seem to pull out a yellow card. For me, it's a free kick, but I don't see how it's a yellow card.
And these are important times for both teams. Thistle free kick. This is coming right in on top of the County box. And it comes, Graham was there, he got goal side, but it's headed half away. Thistle come again, dinked into the box, headed clear by White, only as far as Lawless, knocks it back in, Graham controls, goes down, an appeal for a penalty, swept away by Yandanda. Graham still down, just outside the 6-yard box, that comes all the way through to David Mitchell, the Thistle keeper, and the ref's going to stop play to allow attention to the Thistle top goal scorer. It is Partick Thistle 1, Ross County 0 on 41.5. There was a brief appeal from the Partick Thistle supporters for a penalty there.
I didn't see any untoward. Stuart, yourself?
No, I didn't. I wasn't sure, Jim, just the way he planted his foot, if he maybe jarred his knee, but I didn't see any contact. I don't think there was anything in it at all.
He's kind of holding his head a little bit as if maybe got a little bang in the back of the head.
But looks like he's going to be okay.
I think he's fine, absolutely fine.
Held back to his feet. So we're here live at Firhill tonight in the first leg of this playoff final. It's the Scottish Cup final on Saturday. Celtic against Inverness Cally Thistle. It's a 5:30 kick-off. Later start for the cup final this year. Live here on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland, as is the second leg of this playoff final when Partick Thistle make the trip to Dingwall. 4:30 kick-off on Sunday afternoon for that, and we will find out who will be taking the final position in next season's Premiership is. And then that will leave us with the two international games before rounding off the season. Game on again, and Brian Graham is okay to continue. Indeed, he's back in the pitch already as it's picked up on the left here. Fitzpatrick chip ball in, but it's too close to Laidlaw. Tiffany was lurking around about the 6-yard line as Ross Laidlaw holds on, and it stays Thistle 1, County 0 as we approach the final 2 minutes of the 45.
Yeah, I mean, they can risk the midfield players. Normally, Docherty and Turner can sit there and try and dictate the play, but having that extra man advantage, they can take turns or just try to break the lines of the Ross County rear guard, and Docherty not that far away there from getting a ball into Tiffany.
Well, given the fact the goal went in on 9 minutes and the red came on 17, Malky Mackay's got to be pretty content right now.
Yeah,
relatively speaking, of course.
Yeah, no, I think if you offered them coming out here with a 1-goal deficit, I think he would bite your hand off for it just now. I think that they have regrouped pretty well. I think that through the likes of Edwards and Danda, and especially that kind of platform of White, they can carry a threat and get themselves up the park. But they've managed to organise themselves a little bit better defensively, and I'm sure if he can get in and refresh them at half-time for 15 minutes, then you'll see a similar version in the second 45.
It's good experience that he's got there in Baldwin and Watson, and you've got Harmon on the left and Randall on the right of that defence. Laidlaw behind them. Throw into Partick Thistle. We're hearing there's going to be 4 minutes of injury time, a minimum of 4 added on at the end of the first half. We're a minute away from that, so 5 in total still to play in this first half. We're in minute 45. Here's McMillan for Partick Thistle on the near side. Midway inside the county half, Baldwin's challenge was out of play as he tackled Lawless. Baldwin stayed down momentarily. Lawless is encouraging him to get back to his feet. As Thistle take the feet, they keep the possession, and it's moved into the centre circle for Docherty now with Lawless. Chips it into the box looking for Graham, and the header's going to go behind for another corner kick to the hosts.
Yeah, typical Brian Graham movement there, wasn't it, Stuart?
It's on constantly, Jim. He just keeps pulling away as soon as Lawless gets it in his left foot.
Corner's quickly taken, and the header's in! And who else but Brian Graham to deliver for Partick Thistle? Just as we go into first half stoppage time in the first leg, Championship Partick Thistle possibly sending Ross County down to the Championship before the half-time interval in the first leg. It is Partick Thistle 2, Ross County 0, and already it's a long way back now for the Staggies.
What a brilliantly worked goal yet again. We spoke about it just a few minutes ago, Liam. It's the same thing. Brian Graham peeling away for the volley. The ball's dinked in towards the penalty spot. It's a brilliant finish, but you would think that Ross County would take heed of it. They've seen it no more than sort of 10 minutes ago. But again, I've worked with Brian. What a finisher. Absolutely brilliant with inside his right foot to put it in the back of the net, and that gives him a real boost going into half-time.
I mean, listen, he's the talisman for Partick Thistle. Everybody knows it. He's a leader on and off the pitch. He sets the standard. You know, he's a standard bearer for Partick Thistle, and an outstanding goal. But you know, Ross County switched off at the corner. Partick Thistle took a short corner, managed to create a different angle, and then Brian Graham with his movement and then his technique at the end there, Liam. Outstanding finish, giving Laidlaw no chance. And again, what it does is it was just beginning to quiet the crowd a little bit right before half-time. Those Partick Thistle fans, particularly the ones in the John Lambie stand, now they're in full voice.
It's a massive bonus for Partick Thistle. It is a huge blow though for Ross County. It really is. 1-0 at the break. They can potentially build on the performance since the red card, but now at 2-0 they lose another one. It could easily be tie over. You never rule anything out when you see what Sheffield Wednesday did, but this is against a Partick Thistle team that means business. I mean, the way they've taken this game by the scruff of the neck tonight is something to behold, regardless of whether County are down to 10. And here they come again with Kyle Turner, 2 minutes into the 4 that were added. Down goes Turner, foul by Harmon, yellow card for Harmon, free kick Thistle at the right angle of the County box. This is threatening to unravel spectacularly for the Highlanders.
Again, to me, it's a foul. Again, I don't get that you have to book every time there's a free kick, but it's putting the Ross County players under pressure. You know, they're now picking up yellow cards. They know they're going to be under enormous pressure. They really have to get to half-time, try and clear their heads.
Thistle have got this opportunity to score a third, and the Jags fans utterly buoyant, and understandably so. As Kyle Turner takes the free kick right-footed, he's gone for goal himself there. He saw the gap to the keeper's left, to his right, but he puts it over, and it stays Thistle 2, Ross County 0. I don't think the damage can get worse for Ross County. I think they're in deep trouble as it is.
No, I agree. Just touching on Jim's point there as well, Liam, I think that with the yellow cards starting to stack up for guys like Harmon and Tilson, I think that comes into the consideration. You can't go down to 9 men, absolutely not with a Thistle team playing like this. Just on that effort from Turner there as well, he's seen a small gap down the side of the wall, and you'll never criticise him for it. He's obviously brimming with confidence, and he felt like he could take it on.
2-0, you could still think about a comeback. If it finishes 2-0 tonight, County would believe they could still get through the tie. If it was 3 or 4, they're in. I mean, how do you get out of that? That takes an almighty comeback.
Yeah, well, I mean, Thistle were 3-0 up against the Ayr United first game, and then scored an early goal in the next game, 4-0, and then before Akinyemi gets sent off, and the tie was done. If they get another one here, for me, the tie's done.
Thistle give it away just at the edge of the County box. We're approaching the interval. And it's picked up by Jordan White, and he's given it straight back, and now there's an opportunity for McMillan. He's in the box, pulls it back for Brian Graham, takes a touch, looking for space to shoot, and his efforts blocked by a combination of 2 County defenders, Watson and Baldwin, and it's yet another corner to Partick Thistle. We've played the 4 minutes, added time because of the second goal, and Thistle have a chance to score a third before the break.
It's a massive opportunity missed. Aidan Fitzpatrick was standing in the corner of the 6-yard box, but Brian Graham's never going to pick him off with it. He goes for the effort himself.
Turner over the corner. David Munro is having a word with 1 or 2 players inside the box. This, I think, will be the last act of the first half of the first leg, and it's been a dream first half for Chris Doolan and his players.
Got to defend better than they've done the last couple of crosses, that's for sure.
Well, they scored from the last corner, didn't they? Turner, in it comes, and then it's flicked away by Jordan White, under pressure from Brownlee. Back into the area it comes, headed clear by Harmon. Danda completes the clearance. Brownlee knocks it out to the left-hand side. for Fitzpatrick, who turns it back onto the halfway line. There's the half-time whistle. Almighty relief for Ross County. We just listen to the Partick Thistle supporters around about. There's Jack McMillan there with his arms in the air, winding up the home fans to make some noise. And what a noise it's been. They sold every home ticket for this game. And Partick Thistle have taken their goals tally in this playoff system to 18 with 2 in the first half here tonight. Fitzpatrick with the first on 9. Brian Graham scoring in first half stoppage time to make it 2-0 with the 21st of the campaign. In between all that, young Dylan Smith was sent off for Ross County, whose Premiership survival is hanging by a thread right now here in northwest Glasgow. They've got some amount of work to do to, at the very least, get out of here and back to Dingwall, just 2 goals behind and potentially still in the tie. If they concede more, relegation is looking certain. Half time here in the first leg. Partick Thistle 2, 10-man Ross County 0.
On digital radio,
online at BBC Sport Scotland,
or play BBC Radio Scotland Extra on your smart speaker or BBC Sounds.
This is Sport Sound,
where Scottish football lives.
What a strike! What a goal!
You are listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We are live from Firhill this evening. What a game, what an atmosphere, and what a half-time scoreline, Jim Duffy, for the home side. You predicted goals before this one. We've had 2 already, and on the evidence we've seen, there could be a few more.
Yeah, I mean, there's Partick Thistle 2 up, and it doesn't flatter them. Ross Laidlaw's had a couple of saves. There's been balls flashed across the box. There's been last-minute blocks by the Ross County defenders. And obviously since that sending off, Partick Thistle have pretty much totally dominated the game. But it's interesting because Ross County started in the first few minutes really brightly. I felt it was a really open, attractive game. I think there would have been goals from both sides. But once the first goal went in, I think Thistle took a stranglehold in the game, and then when young Dylan Smith gets sent off, then I think Partick Thistle just gradually started creating chance after chance, and then that fantastic striker that he is, Brian Graham, took full advantage of the space he had in the box with an outstanding finish. 2 great goals, I have to say that. Fitzpatrick's goal, outstanding link-up play, and then a magnificent finish. And then Brian Graham with his movement, and his technique to get the ball guided into the far corner. 2 great goals, and Ross County are really hanging on now for dear life. If Partick Thistle score one more for me, if they got there with a 3-goal advantage, I think the tie's gone. But obviously the fact that 2-0, Malcolm Mackay was saying to these players, we have to make sure we're a lot more resilient. Very difficult, Kenny, because Partick Thistle are flying. Their fans, are really driving them forward. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a terrific atmosphere in here, Stuart. And I'm struck with something Jim said just towards the end of the half there about the county players keeping their head, and you can see just a lack of discipline there towards the end. That could be a big factor in the second half.
Yeah, I think obviously the game plan, Kenny's been ripped up to a degree. You can't expect that you're going to get a player sent off, but I look at their side, I still think that they've got enough experience with the guys like Randall, Watson, Baldwin across the back, White up top. There is enough experience in that team to kind of draw them together and try and get a clean sheet in the second half, because I think that's what it comes down to. I agree with the guys. I think that if Partick Thistle are able to score another one, I think it becomes a mountain to climb. However, I think that if Ross County can get a clean sheet in the second half, then they'll see it as a massive win, and it would tee them up. But I think that it's so hard to kind of legislate for when you go down to 10 men. You're playing against a team that they're full of confidence. You look at the front 4 players, Tiffany, Graham, Fitzpatrick, Lawless, I think, has been outstanding in the first half. And how do you pin them down? Because they're riding the crest of a wave with the crowd, with the atmosphere, and the feel-good factor about the football club. And I think it's Ross County's job to really make this ugly in the second half and try and kill any kind of flow that Thistle are trying to get to the game.
Yeah, you're talking there about a feel-good factor. I can't see him, but our reporter Brian McLaughlin is in among, I believe, the home support. Brian?
I am, yes. I'm in amongst the Thistle fans. Very, very jubilant Thistle fans. Football fans are always happy when their team's winning, but boy, this lot here, they are absolutely jubilant tonight. What do you make of that first 45?
Just incredible. It's just indicative of the way we've been playing the past wee while. Like, we were talking about that earlier, just the difference in attacking teams, and I think the more pressure you're putting on teams, the more panicky they get, and you need to do less at the back ultimately if you're doing that. It's great to watch, and it gets the fans behind them. So,
to be honest, what were your expectations though tonight when you came here?
I think it's kind of, as a Thistle fan, you're always 50-50, aren't you? Like, I think with the form we've been in, you're hopeful, but you're just, until the first goal comes in, you're like, there's a wee bit of pressure to start, and you're like, oh no, hopefully no.
What was that like then when that first goal went in?
Just incredible. It's just, and I think it's just reward for, so it's just reward for the way we've been playing, I think. So
tell us, I mean, you've been coming here a long time. 6-7 weeks ago, could you have dreamt that here you are, you're a little over 90 minutes away, 120 minutes possibly away from Premiership football?
No, absolutely not. 6-8 weeks ago we were really struggling just to think about the playoffs. We were as low as 5th or 6th, and we made it just by goal difference, but since then we have literally been on fire. The 2 goals tonight weren't just tap-ins, they weren't scrappy, they were fantastic start to finish. And the atmosphere here is just absolutely electric at the moment.
Is that the difference? It's the style of play as well, not only scoring goals, but the style of play that's enthusing these fans?
Yes, definitely. It's what you want to see. You know, as I said, sometimes you're happy with the scrappy just to get the result. But the way we've been doing it, it's not. I would have been happy to get to this point, scrappy, but the way we've done it has been fantastic. Absolutely beautiful stuff.
So 45 minutes left tonight before Dingwall on Sunday. I know you've not booked a ticket yet. Should this happen tonight in the 2-0 or maybe even more tonight, would that change your mind?
Definitely. I'd like us to have a very comfortable cushion, a couple more goals, at least one is what my heart's saying, at least one, and then I'll feel, but then it'll be one big party up there with every Jags fan and his dog heading up north on Sunday.
What about yourself, sir? Would you head up?
I was very tempted, but I've already promised my wee girl that we'd have a playoff party on Sunday in the house, so you know I can't disappoint her. She's only 4, so I don't think we can take her up to Dingwall for the night. We'll get work the next day, so
yeah, well, it's going to be some party if this will continue this, isn't it?
I know, fantastic, honestly. Just hope for more of the same, and all being well, just carry that on next year, and you never know how things can turn out. So
thanks, guys. Best of luck in second half. Thank you.
Mate, thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. Some jubilant Thistle fans there. The second leg, of course, live on Sports Sound on Sunday. Jim, down below us here, we've seen a terrific partnership between Jack McMillan and Stephen Lawless. It's great to watch.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you play regularly and you know each other well, you know each other's style, and you know the type of movement they'll make, and Stephen Lawless loves that little one when he comes in, he's left-footed into that little pocket, and Jack McMillan can go in the overlap or the underlap either way, and then you've got somebody like Kyle Turner having the option of, you know, if Stephen does come in, he can play it into Turner and he can play that pass. So there are so many options, and particularly when you've got that extra man, you need that full-back. It's more on the right-hand side. Kevin Holt doesn't tend to do it too much on the left-hand side. Fitzpatrick stays out there a little bit more. He's a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more direct, more like a winger, whereas Stephen Lawless is a really clever football and creates space for his teammates. Yeah, I mean, so listen, it's something that Malky's got to risk at times, Kenny, because you know he knows he's a man down, and he's got players like Edwards, like Yandanda, who are good footballers, but they're not, you know, if you want to call it negative players, they're not guys who are going to stifle the game. But he's maybe, they haven't one real chance. They had one real chance where these players combined, and Yandanda a couple of times has got them up the pitch, but that is a real blow for them to lose that goal a minute before half time. Real blow.
I think tactically, Jim, he has to address this left-hand side. I'm looking at George Harman, and he's cutting a lonely figure down this side. He's trying to deal with the movement of Lawless and Jack McMillan, and they've got Allura Edwards on the right-hand side. I actually think it would be better to bring him over onto that left-hand side and go a little bit lopsided to try and nullify the threat here, because you're right, Kenny, Holt doesn't rampage too much down the left-hand side. The threat mainly comes from this right side, albeit the 1v1 piece of play from Fitzpatrick and a bit of magic there. But you know, know, if you're facing him at 1v1, you're going to have to deal with it. It's the overload that's hurting Ross County down this left-hand side, and I think he has to change something there.
Yeah, I think obviously I was watching Ben Purrington. He's the only Ross County player that's out just now. You're doing a warm-up, and you would think he'll maybe have to come on, as you mentioned there. You know, that with Hammond being booked, and you know, that puts a bit of pressure on him as well. Tilson as well being booked, so they've got to be ultra careful. You know, they just, I mean, and David Monroe, for me, as I mentioned, listen, he's not had a huge amount of controversy, but for me, he just puts pressure on players when he books players for what I would think is innocuous challenges. It is a foul, but they're not necessarily yellow cards. And to me, I think he's just put a little bit of pressure on himself, meaning if anybody, you know, just gets a fraction wrong, he's going to have to put a yellow card, and Malky Mackay's got to take that into consideration.
I think just on it as well, you mentioned Purrington. It looks like he's going to come on, he's stripped and ready to go. That's a big risk as well, Kenny, because he's not played a lot of football. He's been out with, I think it was a broken bone in his foot for several months, and to come into this kind of environment, I know he's got good experience, he's played a lot of games down south, but if you're not up to match speed, you're going to face it very, very quickly here with the Thistle side, and how fluid they've been in their attacks, and it is a bit of a risk, but if you've got that extra experience, I suppose it makes sense to go and throw him on the park and play in that left back position.
Stuart, talk to us then about tactically. So you've got that early sending off. What are you thinking as a manager? Because you highlighted Danda before the game. He's lovely to watch. I think Ura Edwards looks a really tidy player as well. But with that flair comes a risk. You don't perhaps get the work rate, the backtracking. So what are you thinking as a manager? What has Malky Mackay done here?
Well, it's a really interesting one, Kenny. As you know, I dissect everything. I look at every team. I spend so much time on it. Jan Danda, for me, at the start of the season wasn't particularly effective because I think he played as a number 10 and he was looking for players to pass the ball into his feet. You need to dominate the ball. What I think he's done in the second part of the season is really clever. He floats about wherever Jordan White is, and if they're playing up to Jordan White, he plays in those areas. But I just think that my mindset would change here again. Just personally, me looking at this, if I'm going to set a team up in the second half, I think you need as much legs. I think you need players that are really robust in the second half, and I think you need to make this ugly. A lot of people won't appreciate me saying that, but to get out of here with 2-0 would be success as we watch this just now. And I think to have too many of the flair players, at some point they're going to switch off. At some point they're kind of going to cheat in a space where they think you're going to turn the ball over. And I think Ross County really need to set up almost just in that rigid 4-4-1, leave Jordan White just at the tip of their midfield and just create a block that Thistle can't get through and try and stifle them for certainly the opening 15 minutes of this second half, because I just feel if they create one or two chances, this could get out of hand, because Partick Thistle have been really good, haven't they, in 15-20 minute periods of scoring goals, and they really take the game away from you. So I do agree with Jim. These guys are excellent, and I think that their fight may come on Sunday, but I would consider maybe taking off the likes of an Edwards. Probably not a Danda, because I think you can trust him to play on a side, maybe just to protect a fullback. But I think maybe Awura Edwards, that's maybe the change that they'll make, bringing on Purrington here, and I think it's a necessity at this stage.
Yeah, and the home players, of course, driven on by this big support tonight, Jim. There's a terrific energy in the stadium this evening. Yeah,
there's energy and there's belief. I think they believe that their team are, more than capable, because they've been watching them over this last couple of months since Chris Julian took over. And as we heard the support they're saying to Brian there, the style of football has been a joy to watch. Liam said 18 goals in the playoff games. I mean, that is, it's phenomenal. So, the fans are believing this is their year. Yeah, they might have thought they were hard done to, which they probably were, alongside some other teams. When that relegation came in, they were maybe, they ran out of steam against Livingston a few years ago. I remember being at those playoff games. Fantastic from David Hopkins, the Livingston team at that time, and look at what they've achieved since they went into the Premier League under David Martindale. But, tonight, as I say, it's for Partick Thistle, is can they keep that up? Can they keep that intensity up? Can they, put real pressure on Ross County? Because if they do lose another goal, Ross County might just become deflated. Liam was talking about the Kilmarnock game at the weekend where they went to go and it just looked as if the stuff had knocked out of them. And to me, the next goal, if Partick Thistle score the next goal, I think that really could be one of the solar plexus for Ross County, and I don't see him recovering from that.
As predicted, Brian McLaughlin, a change?
Yeah, there is going to be a change. Ben Purrington, as you said, he was up warming up there, and the player he's going to replace George Harmon, who of course was on a yellow card.
OK, time now to get the second half action underway. Partick Thistle against Ross County with Jim Duffy, Stuart Kettlewell and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, it's a huge 45 minutes, isn't it, for both teams. Thistle looking to take further advantage and make hay while they can against 10 men. 2 wonderful goals, as to be said. Fitzpatrick's one's excellent. Brian Graham with one of the finishes of the season to make it 2-0. And that's such a difficult technique, to try and manipulate your body and finish the way he did. Was a supreme effort. A fabulous 21st of the season for Thistle's number 9. Will be the home team to kick off in the red and yellow shirts, white shorts and red socks. County all in white with navy flashes, and Thistle going right to left. Here shooting towards the open end of the stadium with a 2-0 lead. County cannot afford for that to go to 3 or 4. Will they be able to offer any kind of attacking threat themselves? Since that one change at the break, of course, they were forced into another in the first half, where County with Purrington coming on for Harmon, who was on that yellow card. And that after Keith Watson to come on in the first half to replace Alex Samuel after the red card shown to Dylan Smith. Thistle in possession, wide on the right hand side with Kyle Turner, who rolls it out to the touchline. Lawless now, 4 in the middle, and it's going to go behind for a goal kick, harmless enough for Ross County. And I just wonder, guys, you've been in this situation, I'm sure. Well, Jim will definitely have been. I'm not sure Stuart's done so well at Motherwell. I don't know if he has been in this position, but 2-0 down at half-time. What do you say to your players in that kind of situation? I suppose, given it's 2 legs, it's slightly different, but what do you say to them when they've been well beaten and they're down to 10 men?
Yeah, I think the 10 men is a factor. If you're 2-0, you've got 11 men, obviously you're trying to make sure you try and get a goal, try and get to 2-1 and keep yourself in the tie. But if you've got 10 men, Stuart said, you take it as a positive result if it stays like that. So it's about being compact, staying disciplined, don't get too frustrated, allow the 2 centre-backs to have it, but make sure that you deny the spaces in behind. So it's really about your shape and your organisation, your discipline to your jobs, and don't get too frustrated by the opposition having possession. And if you can stay at 2-0 and you can take them up to Dingwall, you're still in the tie.
I just think, Liam, you don't become too emotional. Players start to think that we can really get back in this, and it's just managing stages of the game, really staying compact, as Jim says, staying disciplined, and not really. It was a moment early in the second half there. Jordan Tilson goes to stab a ball in his own final third. That's the time to go into Jordan White and go and try and back up the play. Don't make poor decisions in the final third, and it will give you a lifeline, it will give you a chance.
Jordan White's barely been in the game. Thistle attacking again. Holt with a throw in towards Brian Graham. It's read this time by Baldwin, who knocks it forward towards White, who's left of the centre circle, still inside his own half. Nobody really ahead of him. A couple have made their way forward now as White turns it out to Owura Edwards on the right hand side. Randall going on the overlap. Owura decides to go himself, and he's made to pay because it's won back momentarily by Holt, but Danda picks up the scraps here. Randall, really good challenge by Kevin Holt at the expense of a Ross County corner, and this really is where they've got to try and make an impression. 2-0 down. Yeah,
exactly, Liam. I mean, this is, you know, they've got physicality, you know, and Purrington coming on as well as a big guy, so they've got the 3 centre backs. They've got Purrington with Jordan White. They've certainly got plenty of presence in there, so they're looking for a good delivery again. Jan Danda normally does, execute the corners well, but needs one here.
Outswinger from Danda over on this near side. It's a decent delivery again. It's inside the area. Watson couldn't gather, and eventually it's held on to by Mitchell as they clear their lines. Thistle, first time ball comes forward down the right hand side. There was a man caught in the build up to this, but here come the Jags. It's spread out to Tiffany just outside the penalty area, getting it from Fitzpatrick. Tiffany inside the box. He's on his own at the moment though. Support is arriving. He's held it up, turns away from the goal, then sweeps it back with a left foot to the edge of the area. It almost came to Graham, taken off him by Turner. Thistle smell blood here. One back on that far side, McMillan, and then Lawless as it comes off the defender. Lawless attacking the byline. Into the box he goes. Back it comes. The effort from Tiffany's blocked. Shout for handball, and on the rebound it's over the crossbar. Well, Kevin Holt is appealing to both the referee and the assistant for a handball there inside the box and a possible Thistle penalty. 4 minutes into the second half, it remains Thistle 2, County 0.
It's a big chance, isn't it? You know, there did look as if there might have been a hand there. It didn't look as if it was intentional, but we know that doesn't normally stand for too much. But the final chance that comes to Holt, I think he should do better. He's kind of off the ground. I think if he just gained balance on his left foot, his favoured side, and just guides it towards the goal. But again, down that right-hand side, still causing Ross County problems through Stevie Lawless.
So the referee's still been told to wait here, you know. No, he's telling me to go now.
Yeah,
so
check over.
I think the longer it goes there, the more nervous Ross County become.
County without a single shot on target so far in this game. Thistle have had 5, and they're almost into double figures in the corner count. And Partick Thistle.
Aaron, your head down, isn't it?
Yeah, he's down now, just outside the centre circle. Maybe a County throw-in when the play gets back underway. And what a wonderful position Partick Thistle have put themselves in. They've utterly ruthlessly dispatched Queen's Park and Ayr United to get to this point. And here they are, making their way through the playoff final without too many problems thus far.
I think, to be fair to Malcolm Mackay, we were talking there, you know, about Lawless and McMillan, you know, really, you know, giving Ross County plenty of problems down their right-hand side. You know, and I think he's addressed that with putting Purrington on there with Hammond, so he's almost got like a double left back sort of scenario there where they can shuttle across and try and cover that space and try and deny them those 2v1 situations.
Picked up by Docherty, just outside the centre circle, switches it out to the right for McMillan, and the socks roll down. And he passes it back to Turner on the halfway line, and then to Muirhead, who seems to have shaken off that knock. He switches the play to the left for Holt. And walking pace, now level with the edge of the centre circle, out wide left here with Fitzpatrick's been robbed by Aurora Edwards, who's now driving forward for Ross County. Can they find a route back into this? Edwards continuing his run, he's done well, gets it across, and then he goes behind for the corner. Frustration for Jordan White, who attacked the near post, but it's brilliantly defended after a wonderful run by Aurora Edwards. Results in Ross County's 5th corner of this match.
You can see the threat he is. He's got blistering pace, really negative play from Partick Thistle initially. Kevin Holt's pass into Aidan Fitzpatrick takes a loose touch, Edwards intercepts, and when he's got ground to look at, he's going to give you a real problem. Decent opportunity for Ross County again.
Danda takes the corner towards the near post, where it's headed away by Docherty. An awkward bouncing ball which Randall gets onto, and up and under into the Thistle box, which is headed away by Brownlee. Tilson can't control, one back by Docherty, and picked up inside the centre circle by Fitzpatrick, who switches it out wide on the left here for Tiffany. Tiffany now will attack the Ross County box. He's away from one defender, Tilson, he goes for goal himself. He's well off target, and it stays Partick Thistle 2, Ross County 0 here in still the early exchanges of this second half, 7 minutes old.
Yeah, that, I mean, Stuart saying earlier on about saying if they don't get caught in the emotion of the game, and for me, you know, it was Tilson there. You know, he's trying to rush it. Just take a little step back, the ball will come, cushion it with your body and keep possession, but he's trying to force it because they've had that little moment or two there of a couple of opportunities, rather than just say that's not the time. Now's the time for just possession, and Partick Thistle nicked the ball away from him, and Scott Tiffany was probably a wee bit rash there. He had players to the wide of him, but he's better served maybe just utilising.
Long ball forward towards Graham, headed out by Baldwin for the throw-in. Down below us, around about the halfway line. It's going to be a throw to the home side. Holt takes it, pulls it back the way to Brownlee, who plays it short to Turner. Walking pace. Kyle Turner slips it left to right to the centre circle for Aaron Muirhead. Looks up and smashes it out to this left-hand side. Wonderful dummy by Brian Graham. Superb awareness, and Fitzpatrick's on it now, attacking the left-hand side of the box. Little step over, pulls it back to the 6-yard line, where it's met by Baldwin, who clears for County. Again, it's just brilliant play by Brian Graham there. That dummy just knew the understanding he had there. He knew that Fitzpatrick was behind him. And before Stuart talks to us about that, let's cross to Brian McLaughlin, who's over on the other side of Firhill, and another Ross County change.
Yeah, the third of the evening. David Canchola is the player coming on. He's going to be replacing Jordan Tilson, and probably another switch in terms of formation for Ross County.
Yeah, and another player who's booked comes off.
Yeah, I mean, I think that again, you know, as we mentioned there, he's always been booked and he's maybe just struggled a little bit to start the second half. But, you know, you can see that if they can get the counter-attack right with Edwards on this right-hand side, you know you've always got half a chance of getting something. They almost had that with the break earlier on. But, you know, Partick Thistle again, you know, getting a hold of the ball, and it's just about picking the right moment, and they've all got a great chance, Liam.
Fabulous from Docherty, brilliant midfield play, finds Tiffany. Thistle swarming forward again, Lawless with the cross, Graham with the header, and it's wide of the right-hand post, and it stays Thistle 2, County 0 as we approach the end of the first 10 minutes of the second half.
Sometimes I think the second half, that's going to present the best opportunities for Partick Thistle. When Ross County just start to advance one or two of the midfield players, if the likes of Edwards or Purrington come out of those wing-back spots, then you can see with the pace that Tiffany has and the intelligence of Brian Graham that they can really pick them off. So sometimes I almost think, Jim, it's quite good to call it playing dead, don't you? You almost bring them on, you let them feel good about themselves, and you may create better opportunities off the back of it.
I was asking you how Malky Mackay would have dealt with half-time. How's Chris Doolan dealing with it? Does he want to finish the tie tonight, given they've got the man advantage, as they did in the semis?
I would think so. You know, you think you've got you might have a better chance at, you know, putting this tie to bed. You know, get one more goal, you go up to Dingwall. They've got to throw everything at you, and you've got the pace and the quality to exploit any spaces that Ross County leave. So yeah, I think you've got to go for it, all guns blazing tonight.
There's a clearance the edge of his own box from Muirhead out to the near side. Graham with the flick header, Randall then with the header for County. That's going to go out for a Thistle throw down below us on this near side. Docherty bowling it back though to Holt, former Dundee player, finds Muirhead, and out to that right hand side it goes. It's McMillan forward to Lawless on the turn, brilliant turn it was as well. It's passed through, it's cut out by Baldwin, and then back to the goalkeeper from Laturi, and then launched forward by Laidlaw, and it comes all the way through to his opposite number, and then the clearance is made with the right foot by Mitchell out to this near side. Randall's cushion header onto the halfway line, won by Docherty, nods it forward to Tiffany. He's got some space to operate in, driving forward up towards the edge of the box. He's going to shoot again here, and Laidlaw holds on down low to his right, couldn't quite find the corner. It's quite difficult to get that past the 6'4" frame of Ross Laidlaw as he dived down low to his right to hold on pretty comfortably in the end, and it stays Thistle 2, County 0.
I kind of think that he's chose the wrong option twice. I know he works the target there, and the goalkeeper makes a fairly comfortable save, but once they get into that final third, I think Tiffany has to shift it again and really try and stretch the back line of Ross County, and if they make that extra pass or two, I think they will open them up. That's just twice he's chose to take the effort on, where I felt he had maybe 2 or 3 better options.
Ross Docherty for Thistle in the centre circle, just turns it out to this left-hand side, low ball to Holt, walks across the halfway line, faced by Dandai, squares it back to his captain. Docherty then switches it out to the right-hand side, this time for McMillan, midway inside County territory, the dummy this time from Tiffany, gets it back from Graham, works it back to Graham, chance! Oh, what an important block that is! Right on the 6-yard line, a goal-saving block as it goes whizzing over the bar, and that will be a corner to Thistle. Wonderful build-up play there by the Jags, and they deserved a goal for that alone, but how important will that prove to be, that block, when we get to full time in Dingwall on Sunday? It stays 2-0 to the Jags.
Absolutely brilliant football. Was a little staple, 1-2 with the twin strikers, you know, absolutely magnificent. And what a block! I think it was Randall that blocked it. Outstanding block that has kept Ross County in the tie. But you know, I mean, great football, and we said about picking the right moment. That was the right moment.
Here come Thistle again. Docherty with a big switch out to Lawless, controls it beautifully, level with the penalty spot, looks up, low ball back, Tiffany tries to knock it into the path of one of his teammates to the right hand side of the box. That time County are able to get it clear, but again it's wonderful build-up play. Jack McMillan had popped up in that wonderful area that he so often does, right hand side of the opposition box. They've managed to get it clear. Here comes Lawless, twisting, turning away from a couple of challenges, gets it to Tiffany, takes his time, shoots, and it's blocked again. It's Randall again. Here they come once more. Partick Thistle knocking on the door, and another brilliant block. This time it's Laidlaw saving from Brian Graham's header. They've done everything but score a third in the last 2 minutes of the home team, and the home fans are so up for this. This performance has been magnificent from their team. It stays though, Thistle 2, County 0. Quite how, I don't know.
It's absolutely sensational play, start to finish. I don't think they've done a great deal wrong. Some good blocks in there. I think it might have been a stop from Ross Laidlaw with the last effort there. But I'll tell you what, Liam, they have to be careful, Ross County, because this could really get out of hand, just with the nature of the chances that Partick Thistle are creating just now, and how disjointed that Ross County look at the minute.
Yeah, I think Brian Graham was celebrating. He was actually celebrating, so that's in, and Laidlaw sticks out a big hand and just deflects it away. But you know, it's an absolute onslaught, you know what I mean, from Partick Thistle, chance after chance, and it just seems a matter of time before they get that third goal. I mean, Ross County, I know they've made a couple of substitutions, but they just look a little bit disjointed at this moment in time.
Yeah, they're in a tailspin. You can understand that. Thistle have been at it from the off, and here they go again. Graham with a touch and a chance, and McMillan's efforts blocked, and County get it clear. It's another block from Ross County in defence, as Jan Danda gives him some respite up the other end as he crosses halfway, leaving it there for Jordan White, who pushes it to the edge of the centre circle for Laturi. Boy, they've ridden their luck in the last few minutes of the visitors. Tie could be over. It could be done by now.
Yeah, I think they're grateful to Conor Randall with those orange boots on, because he keeps managing to get his body in the line. And listen, that's exactly what you want from Malky Mackay. Your players are not giving up. Yeah, they're getting outplayed, Thistle creating, but if you can put those last minute blocks in, you know, and really show that there is still commitment there, yeah, you've always got half a chance, Liam, you know, if you've got commitment. And the one thing Ross County haven't done yet is they haven't thrown the towel in. Another goal, it might be more difficult.
We could wind up looking at this last few minutes as being a massive staging in the two legs. We really could, with the defending from Conor Randall. That's the type of thing that can keep your team in these ties. And as I say, with the magnitude of the game, the size of the task as it looks like for Ross County, we could be looking in Sunday night and saying that that's three magnificent blocks and have gave them a chance in this.
Down the left-hand side come Ross County, up the pitch for once. A chance perhaps to get the ball in the middle here with Purrington. Low ball to the left angle of the box, Chanchola. Now it's back with Laturi. He passes it back to Baldwin. Ball into the midfield for Danda's popped up in a bit of space. And this is just allowing the Ross County supporters to breathe a little easier, but that's a dreadful ball from Danda straight to Brian Graham, who's all over him, but he gives it away himself, and Danda gets away with that, and he's on the ball here. Danda with the cross. It's a poor one though. It's blocked pretty comfortably in the end by Darren Brownlee. And picked up by Graham, who's been superb tonight. So many in red and yellow have been, as that is cleared by Watson. Flick from Danda. Up here by Owura Edwards. The Thistle fans thought he used the hand there. And it's going out of play off Holt for a throw-in. The County a bit level with the Thistle 18-yard line on this near side. 2-0 Partick Thistle. Jim Duffy.
Sorry, Liam, it's a chance to get the ball into the box now. Ball coming up for a long throw. He's not really had many chances, even though there's many 8 times that they've had the ball in this area. It doesn't have much of a run-up, mind you, but at least they can get a chance to get into Jordan White, you know, and get the ball into the box. I think Baldwin as well to get it in the box. Go and get this ball in the box.
Baldwin to Laturi, back to Baldwin. Right foot cross isn't the worst for a centre back. It's headed away by Graham. Only as far as Laturi. Little ball into the area. It might break here for White, and there's a block up the other end. This time it's a Partick Thistle. Body gets in the way, and it goes behind for a Ross County corner.
I thought it was just a bad miss. It's an absolutely brilliant block, isn't it, from Muirhead? That's now 2 from Rando, and now that could be crucial for Partick Thistle. Jordan White looked certain to put the ball in the back of the net, but the big centre back manages just to deflect it and put it behind for another corner.
Played 63. Thistle 2, County 0. County with the ball up the pitch here for once, and their supporters who are spread out in the main stand over on the other side of the stadium. It's been a tough watch for them so far as the corner comes in. Watson flicks on, knocked half away. Owura Edwards clips it back towards goal. Thistle head clear. I think they're claiming offside there. Aaron Muirhead certainly was. Danda picks up wide on the left, having taken the corner, and it comes. And it's Brian Graham in the way again. And out of play, it's going to go for a throw into County over on this near side. the Thistle go up, you kind of feel Brian Graham deserves a season in the top flight.
Yeah, not? you do. He endears himself to the fans just there. His work ethic, he's back defending his penalty box, even when it looks like the ball's going out of play, still busting a gut to try and get on the end of it. So it's all those bits that are so infectious for the football supporter.
It must annoy him because he had that brilliant purple patch at Raith Rovers. He got his chance with Dundee United. He was at St Johnstone as well. I don't think he'll feel he took full advantage of it. I remember him missing a big chance in that Scottish Cup final against St Johnstone in 2014. And he would love another crack at the top flight. Here's Lawless with a clearance for the Jags. The header from Randall, who, as Jim was saying, those two priceless blocks which prevented Partick Thistle scoring a third. It remains at 2. And County have negotiated almost 20 minutes of the second half, but they've given away a free kick right in front of their manager on the halfway line over on that far side.
Ross County take a real risk, don't they, when they're attacking set plays. They leave it 1v1. Conor Randall's playing against Tiffany, and all it takes is one kind of average clearance sometimes just to get him in behind the defender. I realise that at a stage where they might have to take a few risks, but I'm not so sure that would be the one for me, Jim.
Yeah, I think particularly with Tiffany, but Randall's obviously, he's got that experience, but as I said, even one little slip, one little flick, and you're off because you're the last man, and denying a chance. That's something that Ross County don't have to take. For me, listen, for that 10-minute spell, they were right under the cosh, but they've had a little few minutes there where they've been up the Partick Thistle, in and around about the box, had that one chance blocked by Aaron Muirhead, so that'll give them a little bit of confidence that they can still stay in this game.
Two outstanding finishes from Fitzpatrick and Graham in the first half, and Thistle 2-0 up. Free kick for the home teams, headed away by Baldwin on his 18-yard line. Kept in play by Kyle Turner over on the far side. Slips it forward, blocked by Randall. I've said that a few times tonight. It's now back with the hosts. It's clipped out to this left-hand side for Fitzpatrick. Alura Edwards is actually a decent enough game, but that's a poor ball back towards Baldwin. Thistle have it back again with Docherty. It's a bit level with the edge of the D of the county box. Back it comes to Turner, out wide left for Fitzpatrick. To Turner, puts it up into the air. Here the frustration in the stands around us, the groans as the ball went wayward. And County have it back here with Laturi, back into his own box where Watson clears it first time into the Thistle half. Eventually it settles with Aaron Muirhead. Heading towards the final quarter of the first leg of this Premiership playoff final, with Thistle leading by 2-0 against Ross County as the free kick's given Thistle's way, level with the edge of the centre circle in county territory over there on that right hand side. You can see they're taking free kicks and throw-ins quickly, Thistle. They want to get the game back underway as quickly as possible to try and find this third potentially killer goal.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to keep the tempo high, they want to keep that intensity at the end of the game. Ross County the opposite, but there's a free kick for me. Yeah, again, that was Randall.
Randall bringing Stevie Lawless crashing to the ground, and now it's a free kick to Thistle, maybe about between 25 and 30 yards from goal. It's almost dead centre of the pitch here. Kyle Turner's already standing over it.
Turner and Holt are generally, the two players that get over it, but Turner looks as if he's going to be taking charge of this one. It's a good distance actually, Stuart, for this one to try and get up and down, because you've got enough distance. It's not too close, to me the perfect distance for Kyle Turner here. I hope I'm not giving the kiss of death, but I think this is a really good opportunity.
4-man county wall.
It's a wee chance for a bit of invention as well, isn't there, when you see the overload wide?
Yep, he slipped it out low to the right hand side of the box for Lawless. He takes a touch and crosses it in. It's flicked towards the back post area and smashed on the volley across the face of goal from the back post area. Eventually out for a throw-in over in front of the tunnel here at Firhill over on the far side for a Ross County throw-in, and it stays 2-0 to Partick Thistle here at Firhill.
I think you just see the intention of Ross County, don't you? Baldwin sort of slowly going over to take the throw, moving players into position, try and kill the rhythm and the flow of Partick Thistle. And there's no surprise there, Jim, is there? You fully expect that that's going to be the case now from Ross County at the end of this one.
It's not just been their goal-scoring exploits, and really good in defence as well, Partick Thistle recently. As the ball from Tiffany comes right through to Ross Laidlaw. Jim, they've kept 11 clean sheets. They've Chris Doolan's 17 matches.
Yeah, I think they've only lost 3 goals. I mean, it's terrific, but that's because on the front foot they're putting teams under pressure. They're keeping the ball on the other side of the pitch. So that gives the defenders an opportunity just to stay focused and keep their concentration. They're not under too much pressure because the opposition are under pressure as often. But in this particular game here, obviously with 10 men, they just have to make sure they don't have any lapses.
It's Fitzpatrick down the left-hand side, the man who opened the scoring for Partick Thistle. He's driving forward, he's inside the box now. On the left foot, he shoots it across the face of goal, and it was behind for a goal kick. Ross County stood off him there. Fitzpatrick, really positive driving run into the area. The angle perhaps just slightly got away from him as he smashed it across the face, and it goes behind the reverse side of the goal frame for a goal kick to the Staggies, and stays 2-0 to the Jags.
I think Randall was desperate to make sure he went on the outside, didn't he? He was not letting him inside him as he showed, with his opening goal, which was outstanding. This time he's thinking, I don't care if you skin me on the outside, the angle will be narrower. It's a much more difficult opportunity for you.
Yeah, and just noticing it as well, Jim, I think he has to, because Awura Edwards isn't quite coming back at the same pace as he's starting to look a little bit tired in his protection of Randall on that right side of the defence.
Malky Mackay won't want to take off Awura Edwards because he's a really good outball for them, as you guys were saying earlier, and he'll need him to go to the well between now and full time, you suspect, as Laturi hits it long, comes all the way through though to Mitchell, who holds on the right hand side of his box. So we're into the final 20 minutes of the first leg, at least of the 90 minutes, and the good news for Ross County supporters is that the damage hasn't got any worse in this second half. 2-0 down at half time, that remains the scoreline. Can they get out of Glasgow with just a 2-goal deficit?
Again, I'm a little bit surprised that Partick Thistle have not got the centre backs or the full backs on it. I think they'll get into that final third, but I would guess Ross County would be quite happy with the kind of long ball and going contesting it.
Long ball towards Graham, didn't get much on it, but it almost worked out for Lawless at the edge of the box. County though are able to get bodies in the way, and they've picked it up on the right hand side of the wood. Edwards, who gets away from Docherty, skips infield, square ball to Yandanda. To the left he's got Purrington, rolls it out towards Ben Purrington, who plays it back to Danda. Danda trying to get things going for County. 19 to play. It's back with Baldwin, poking it forward into the centre circle for Laturi, who turns it out to the left. Watson is back. It was a poor ball from Keith Watson, way too much on it for Baldwin, who I'm sure was the intended target there. Too much power on it, but it's come back to Laidlaw, who plays it out to Randall on this near side. A little nervy, and you can understand that. It's out to this near side with Awura Edwards. Flicked on to Chanchola, come off his hand there. But, play will continue with Thistle in possession in any case. The clearance though onto the chest of Laturi, under pressure from Graham, holding off the Thistle striker. And his ball goes straight to Fitzpatrick, and now it's with Graham, and now it's with Turner, who knocks it back to Brownlee, and now it's with Docherty. Out to Holt on this near side. Docherty's been robbed by Awura Edwards. Here's Laturi. What Thistle won't want is to get sloppy. Here's Yandanda driving forward in towards the box. Poor pass though. Gives it straight to McMillan. He tried to slip it through. And there was a run forward by Watson, and now County could be caught at the back here. Watson's desperately trying to get back into position. The header away is from Baldwin as the long ball came towards the County goal. Thistle have it back here with Tiffany. He's away from one challenge. Down he goes. Was he looking for it though? The referee thinks he was. No free kick. And not too many complaints, it has to be said, as he went down inside the D outside the County penalty area. Here's Awura Edwards driving forward. County get out of here with a goal at least and lose 2-1. That'll feel like a win for them. Awura Edwards driving forward, and he's at least won a throw-in level with the 6-yard line on this near side for the Staggies. And it sounds as though there's going to be a change over on that far side. Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, it looks like Jordan White is the player going to be coming off. Simon Murray is coming on, and also just getting the final touches here to a Partick Thistle change. Stuart Bannigan is definitely going to be coming on shortly for Thistle. Still waiting to see exactly who'll be coming off, but Bannigan will be coming on, and Simon Murray will be coming on for County.
I have to say, Awura Edwards, absolutely magnificent play there. He gets his team 50 yards up the pitch, doesn't just throw in a hopeful ball because there's no players in there, checks back, plays it off hole, lets it run out, gets a throw in, Baldwin can go up, take the long throw in if he wants to, but buys his team, you know, at least 2 or 3 minutes probably, Stuart, in that side of the pitch. And at this stage of the game, that is absolutely vital. Sometimes he looks as if he's got nothing left in the tank, and then all of a sudden he finds an extra gear from somewhere.
Back to Brian, sorry, back to Brian.
There's the final change of the evening for County. Noah Kenny's coming on. He'll be replacing number 14, Victor Laturi. And yes, Stuart Bannigan is coming on for Partick Thistle, and he'll be replacing number 11, Stephen Wallace.
Well, there's two Thistle stalwarts, particularly Stuart Bannigan. He's been here his whole career, and of course he missed the semi-final legs against Ayr United because of injury, but he's returned in time for this. Lawless gets a standing ovation. He's been magnificent tonight. Thistle 2-0 up. This break in play for all these changes, and there will be the ovation for Lawless, and Stuart Bannigan will get his customary warm welcome from the Partick Thistle supporters as well, with just over 15 minutes to play. Stuart Kettlewell, 2-0 to the Jags.
Yeah, a couple of things I'm surprised at. I think Wallace has been outstanding, as you say, Liam. Jordan White coming off for this long throw, I thought they might have kept him on for it, but we're just saying that there. I'm expecting him to speed up. I think Thistle want the game to continue and really keep the intensity high, keep the tempo of the game really high.
Baldwin with the throw-in, back to Danda. He's under immediate pressure from Tiffany. Back out wide right for Baldwin, takes a touch, his cross is cut out by Fitzpatrick, and out for a throw-in on this near side to County. We'll try and keep some pressure on. Simon Murray's come on, he scored a couple of times against Thistle this season when he was in Queen's Park colours. He has come on to try and find a route back for the visitors. Wood Edwards onto it, but he's lost out, and then there's a trip on Docherty, and that is a free kick to Partick Thistle just on the edge of their box, and Docherty I think is looking for further punishment to be meted out to Owura Edwards for that. Felt it was a professional foul, stop him getting away. It's a free kick to Partick Thistle. Yes, bizarrely, even though they're 2-0 down, County might be quite happy to waste a bit of time whenever they can.
Yep, definitely.
Just surprising me again, they're going long, Liam, just from the goalkeeper Mitchell. I'm just expecting, as Jim said a couple of times, for the centre backs to drop off and really make Ross County work and keep the ball and really dictate the game, but they keep going long and Ross County turn over, and it gives them a chance to break just like this. Yeah,
here they come, opportunity perhaps here. Kenna will play it to the right hand side of the box for Edwards, low ball in, it's cut out brilliantly, but it breaks back to Owura Edwards on this near side, looking to find space to cross. His effort is blocked and Kenna can't make anything of it either, and Kevin Holt just wallops it away as far as he can as we head towards the final 13.5 minutes here of the 90 at Firhill, with Partick Thistle leading by those 2 first half goals to 0.
Yeah, still a fair way to go, but Ross County just, you know, getting the ball into the right areas, making sure it's in that final third of Partick Thistle, where it's free kicks, throw-ins, etc. Just keeping the ball in that area, just giving yourself a wee bit of respite from the constant pressure they were under for most of this second half.
It's great play by Owen Kenna there. He shielded the ball, a couple of players around him as he passes it back to Baldwin. Now it's to Watson into the centre circle for Danda, takes a touch, goes long with the right foot down this near side. Murray's not going to get there, and it goes out for a throw-in to Partick Thistle down on this near side. Can County be within relative striking distance when they welcome the Jags to Dingwall on Sunday? 4:30 kickoff, live here on Sportsound or BBC Radio Scotland.
I'm just laughing at Simon Murray. He's giving Edwards absolute us for not chasing that hopeful ball to the corner. He's had to work this whole side himself for probably all second half, probably for, you know, for the last part of the game. He's put an incredible shift in, and you know, he doesn't do one run. He's getting a bit of stick off his sub. He's just on.
Owura Edwards just trying to knock it forward, and Thistle giving away. They've got a little bit sloppy just in the last 5-10 minutes of Christoulin's side. Been excellent by and large tonight. As dusk falls here on Glasgow, the floodlights are on, and we're in the closing 12 minutes of this first leg with Thistle holding all the aces right now, 2-0 up. It is Brownlee. He knocks it out to Holt on this near side. The ball passed forward along the deck to Graham, and then it bobbles off Baldwin and out for a throw-in on the near side to Partick Thistle. A shake of the head from Brian Graham down below us. Remember, County down to 10 men since 17 minutes. Dylan Smith ordered off for preventing an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. And at that point, Thistle were already 1-0 up thanks to that Aidan Fitzpatrick goal on 9. Brian Graham with a wonderful volleyed finish in the first half injury time. Long header forward, Graham giving chase. Randall gets there and he boots it clear up towards halfway. Cushion header from McMillan to Turner, out to that right hand side towards Tiffany. It's a strong challenge. Goes out for a throw-in on the far side from Puddington. The Thistle fans just trying to gee their side up for one last push. 11 minutes of the 90 to play. Third goal would be priceless for the Glasgow team. And here come County winning it back on the far side. No Kenna now, he shows too much of it though to Docherty. Puddington will let that go out for a throw-in over on the far side.
This is where I get on my high horse. Last Wednesday we were playing against Livingston. They were down to 10 men and you stop doing the things you're good at. And Partick Thistle have had a wee sort of, I don't know, 7-8 minute spell, haven't they?
Why is that?
I don't know if it's mentality. You maybe see the prize that's sitting at the end of it, a little bit of nervous energy. I'm not quite sure, Liam, but why stop doing what you're good at? They've become so untidy in the ball, they've become a wee bit more direct, and for me that's just played into Ross County's hands, and there's opportunities for chances if Partick Thistle keep moving the ball at the pace that they are and just being really tidy in possession.
Big 10 minutes coming up here as Thistle come forward. Tiffany stretching his legs down the right, it's a good ball to him. He's inside the box, he's looking for space to shoot. He does with the left, deflected, and Laidlaw holds on. Important, that could have gone anywhere when it was hit by Tiffany, but Laidlaw holds on to it and it stays Thistle 2, County 0.
Yeah,
big moments, big moments.
Yeah, fair play to Baldwin there. He absolutely sprinted back to help his teammate out. He knew he was in trouble 1v1 with Tiffany, but managed to get a double up and just took a little nick off the pace of the ball, which made it a little bit easier for Laidlaw. But as I said, Ross County have really got to try and make sure they stay disciplined and not risk too much now.
Here's McMillan driving forward this time, rolls it to Turner, right hand side of the box, level with the 6-yard line, turns it out to Tiffany on the far side touchline. He gets away from one defender, kind of bobbled off Puddington, still he has it, the cross comes in and Laidlaw holds on. Brian Graham punches fresh air in frustration, but in the final 9 minutes of the 90 with Thistle leading by 2-0, this, as it stands right now, is not insurmountable for Ross County. A third might well be.
I think with Brian Graham's experience, I think that's why he's getting so annoyed. He feels that there can be better decisions made when the ball's coming into the penalty box, and he'll be a guy that's desperate to get that third goal because he'll know the significance of it.
Headed away by Baldwin, into the Thistle half it goes. Docherty helping it to McMillan. He can move forward across the halfway line. He goes over on the right hand side at the midway point of the County half now. His pass forwards cut out, breaks fortuitously back to him. Now it's with Docherty, finds Turner, and then Turner rolls it out to Holt on this near side. It's Kevin Holt, and back it comes to Bannigan. Moves it infield. Bannigan's going to get it back immediately here from Brownlee, and he arches the ball from the left to the right of the centre circle. And then Muirhead out to McMillan wide on that right hand side, level with the edge of the D of the County box, dinks it into the area, down towards the byline here for Turner. Turner back out to Tiffany, low ball in, Graham's efforts blocked, and there's a big appeal for a handball there as it bounced off Baldwin, I think. County able to get it clear. Weir Edwards isn't going to be able to keep it in play, it goes out for a throw, and they're going to stop play right now to have a look at this in the VAR room, I think. What was your initial reaction, Jim?
Yeah, listen, it may well have happened. To me, obviously, we can't see if he did make his body look bigger, but to me, it was very, very close. So, with where I am, I don't think that'd be a penalty, even if it did hit his arm. And this is what we were talking about earlier on, Liam. This is Partick Thistle's 5th game in this series of the playoffs, and you can see a few of the players now. I think Jack McMillan looks tired, Aidan Fitzpatrick's tired, stretching with the calves, and it does catch up on you in the demands of it. And obviously from Ross County's point of view, having to do this with 10 men,
they've a problem because
they've made all their subs.
They've made all the changes, and Aware Edwards doesn't look like he's going to be able to continue.
He's been helped with a bit of cramp down below us. He's put in a power of work. He's been, as we said earlier, he's been a good out ball. He's been getting them up the pitch. And the rare occasions they've been able to, because they've been under the cosh for large swathes of this first leg, which has still got just under 7 minutes plus injury time to go.
Substitutions.
Yeah, looks like some more changes for Thistle, Brian.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple of changes made. Number 29, Xander McKenzie's coming on. That's his number 19, Danny Mullen. There may well be a couple of changes. Brian Graham was one of the players, but I'm not sure he is going to be replaced now. Aidan Fitzpatrick is going to be coming off. I think, yeah, Aidan Fitzpatrick's definitely coming off. I'm not sure if it's going to be Brian Graham or not, and whether Latura Edwards is going to...
I think it was going to be Brian Graham, certainly. But,
yeah, Brian Graham has gone off the far side, yes. Yes, he has. As for Ross County, then, Liam, no more subs, I'm afraid.
Well, Edwards is back on, but how much impact's he going to be able to make? Xander McKenzie's 17-year-old academy graduate coming onto the pitch as well there for Partick Thistle, as Bannigan rolls it back to his goalkeeper Mitchell. They would love a third goal as we head towards the final 5 minutes of this first leg, this Premiership playoff final. 10-man Ross County trying to keep Thistle at bay, preventing them from scoring a third, and that'll be a free kick. It's a foul there on Mullen, who's not long on. It's going to be a free kick to the Jags about midway inside the county half, left to centre.
Don't want to have a moan about referees, but it's where it's inconsistent. We spoke about the two in the first half, wasn't it? Tilson and Harmon, they were soft yellow cards. That one for me probably is, because it's a kind of promising attack it's tonight.
Terrible ball by Kyle Turner, straight to Noah Kenna. Now it's Simon Murray, who slips just at the moment he was thinking of passing it out wide to the left for Purrington, and instead Thistle are on it with Bannigan driving across the halfway line, left hand side of the pitch. He's now in the county half. Takes his time, just passes it back to Turner. Now it's with Bannigan. Bannigan looking for an option in yellow and orange. Finds one in McMillan. Passes it forward to Mullen, right hand side of the box. He's got an option waiting in the middle in McKenzie. It all breaks down though on the far side, and Baldwin's able to clear as Murray controls. And out of play it goes for a throw in as Murray passes it off a Thistle body, and out for a throw to County on the far side, and they can just ebb away. Another few seconds as we approach the final now. 4 minutes 86 on the clock. Jim Duffy, Thistle leading 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Thistle will be delighted having a 2-0 advantage, there's no doubt about that, but you know, with their extra man and the domination they've had most of the play, you know, there'll be a wee tinge of frustration that they haven't got that third goal. Listen, they scored right on the stroke of half time, so you know, there's still a long way to go, you know, with the 5 minutes or so to go plus injury time. And you know, a very, very tired Ross County with no opportunity to freshen it up. So there's still, I think there'll still be one big opportunity for Partick Thistle to put this tie to bed.
Ball forward for Mullen. It might be he who gets it. That is a good piece of reading the game there by County from Baldwin, but he gives it straight back to Thistle, and it's picked up on the left hand side by McKenzie. He's attacking the left hand side of the area, rolls it back towards the penalty spot. On the turn is Mullen, his effort's blocked. It's still alive though here for Thistle. County throwing bodies in the way, and Turner's denied a shot at goal. Still come the Jags though, right hand side of the box. Dink ball in by McMillan. It's worked out back to the right hand side for Tiffany. Keeps it in play, looked like it was going for the corner. Tiffany, good skill, shuffles away from one, drives it across, and then it's an important block by Watson in the 6-yard area. And County are going to get a free kick as well. Noah Kenna is brought down, the on loan Hibs player. And it will be a free kick to County, and that whistle will have been music to the ears of Malky Mackay, with 2.5 minutes of the 90 remaining here in this first leg.
I saw him laughing. Simon Murray's running to get the ball back. Malky Mackay screaming at him to keep it calm. Simon Murray's thinking, I want to make an impact, I want a goal, rather than thinking, listen, 2-0, we've got 90 minutes to turn this tie around. So Malky just giving him a little bit of verbals here, saying, listen Simon, just take that ball to the corner and we'll lose 2-0.
About to tick on to the 88-minute mark. Thistle 2, County 0 here on Sports Sound. Closing stages of this first leg. As Edwards, he had his legs whipped away from him down there. He bounced straight back up, no free kick. County trying to make something of it. Kenna chases Thistle clear through Kevin Holt, and now the break of the ball works Kyle Turner's way. He can look up ahead of him facing the county goal, spreads the play wide right here for Tiffany. He's inside the area, looks up, plays it across, blocked, and then Laidlaw holds on just as it looked as though it might go behind for the corner. It's in the gloves of Ross Laidlaw, and it stays Partick Thistle 2, Ross County 0.
Ross County are just a bit spread here.
Yeah,
just sit back now.
They are.
You know,
but I don't think Chris Dillon will be disappointed. Of course he won't. But there's been a couple of moments in the second half, and not being overcritical, but Tiffany in particular maybe just selecting the wrong option. He's trying to play through players there where he has to realise that the defender's scrambling to get back, and him 1v1, change of direction and a bit of imagination that he's got, he can pose a real problem. So stay on the ball and make the defender defend.
County in possession. There's a crowd of 7,291 incidentally inside the stadium tonight as Murray picks up for County right hand side of the box with his attempted shuffle away from the defender, is well read by Darren Brownlee, who's in possession here. You heard Brian Graham's name being bellowed across the public announcement there. System, PA system, man of the match. Great performance and a brilliant goal just before half time. Has put Thistle in the box seat. Bannigan spreading the play. They can make themselves all the more comfortable with another one as Mackenzie rolls it along the 18-yard line. It's Turner, short ball to the right. McMillan takes a touch, looks up at the goal, and his efforts blocked by Purrington. How many blocks have there been from Ross County players in this second half? We're about to tick on to the 90th minute, or the 90-minute mark.
Yeah, but he had Tiffany wide again, and Purrington standing in front of him. He can't score, so just roll it wide to Tiffany, and Tiffany can decide to put it across the 6-yard box for maybe Mullen or something like that to tap in. But as Stuart was saying, just
3 minutes added.
Decision making there.
3 minutes added. County are 3 minutes away from a 2-0 defeat, but they'll be quite happy with that in again relative terms. Here's Jan Danda over on the far side. He dilly-dallied on it. That's going to be a free kick given against Danda. He just had a little tug of the jersey there, and that's going to be a free kick for the professional foul over on that far side, and a chance for Partick Thistle to load the box here in stoppage time. They scored in first half stoppage time. If they score in second half stoppage time, well, it's almost job done.
I don't have Brian Graham in there as that presence, but it's a really cheap free kick for Jan Danda to give away.
I think it's one you shift it again, Jim. I think you move Ross County, because I think you're right, probably lacking that physical presence of Brian Graham and his striker instinct.
However, it's an opportunity. The free kick comes in. It's a poor delivery from Turner, one of his poorest of the season. He's got a second chance to cross in. County have it with Randall, who's been so important to the visitors in the second half, but he's lost out, and Thistle ransack him on the far side. Little ball towards Mullen at the edge of the box, cleared by Watson. It's only half away though. Tiffany has it level the 6-yard line, pulls it back. Mullen takes a touch, it just got under his feet, and County are able to clear their lines, and it stays at 2-0 to Partick Thistle as we go into the final 90 seconds of the injury time that was allotted by David Munro.
Better play from Tiffany this time down the right hand side. Ball just wouldn't settle for Mullen. He's trying to shape on his right foot to go and stab his effort towards goal, but again it just squirmed underneath his foot and gave the opportunity for Ross County to clear their lines again and try and see if they can see this one out.
When the Premiership playoffs were introduced in 2014, Hibernian went down, but they won the first leg 2-0. Hamilton won the second leg 2-0 and relegated Hibs on penalties, got themselves promoted. The other big comeback was from just a 1-goal deficit when Falkirk led Kilmarnock before losing the second leg 4-0, losing 4-1 in aggregate. As Cally Thistle mounted a comeback in the first leg against St Johnstone last year before being well beaten in Perth in the second leg. It's Thistle in possession in the centre circle as they look for a third. There's only 30 seconds left to find it though. Just at the edge of the area, the shot, oh, it's off the crossbar!
What a save.
Great save.
He's got his fingertips to it, Ross Laidlaw. Well, if Ross County are not relegated this season, have a look at this second half. Have a look at these Ross County defensive blocks and the saves from Laidlaw, because that's what's going to have made the difference. What a hit it was!
Incredible strike, wasn't it? I mean, absolutely like a rocket, and Ross Laidlaw just managed to get a hand up and fingertip onto the bar.
Wow. Partick Thistle at full pelt. And it's advantage to the Championship side after the first leg of the Premiership playoff final. A fabulous first half performance. Aidan Fitzpatrick giving them the lead early on. A terrific finish, dropping the shoulder, dancing into the box and finding the far corner with an outstanding curled finish past the grasp of Laidlaw. 16-year-old Dylan Smith was sent off on 17 for denying a goal-scoring opportunity. It was initially a yellow card issued by David Munro. The VAR, Andrew Dallas, asked him to have a look at it and he upgraded it to red. County were down to 10 up against this effervescent Partick Thistle side. They doubled their lead in first half injury time with an incredible finish from Brian Graham. The corner came in, it was actually in behind him. He contorted his body to volley it home into the top right corner. One of the goals of the season. And there have been some magnificent goals across the Scottish Professional Football League this campaign. That was another for the collection, and it was another for the collection of Brian Graham, who joined Chris Erskine and Chris Doolan in getting past the 50-goal mark since the turn of the century for this club. The second half, they did all but score a third. Connor Randall with two incredible blocks. Ross Laidlaw with a couple of superb saves, particularly that one right at the end there. Looked like it was creeping just under the crossbar. He got his fingertips to it, and County survived an onslaught there in that second half. Somehow, they are still in with a shout, but it really is advantage Partick Thistle. 18 goals now scored in 5 playoff matches as Chris Doolan and his players take the acclaim from the Thistle supporters, who 3 years ago were sent down to the third tier. Well, it's advantage to them in the race for the final place in the top flight for next season. It finishes here at Firhill with the second leg in Dingwall on Sunday evening. Partick Thistle 2, 10-man Ross County.